Arlington. Michael Bumpus and I are live at Virginia Mason Athletic Center. Seahawks set to kick off practice in a couple hours. And we have the first preseason game in just a couple days. Can't believe it's already here. Before we get to it, though, a story still dominating NFL headlines. And even though it doesn't directly concern the Seahawks, I think the Seahawks should maybe be involved in the conversation. Micah Parsons is not happy with the Cowboys. A couple days ago, he posted that he'd officially requested a trade from the Cowboys, submitting that request to Stephen Jones himself. He wants probably about $40 million per year, and the Cowboys seemingly aren't willing to pay it. Micah Parsons said as part of that trade request, or part of that statement that he made, that the Cowboys hadn't even negotiated with his agent. So it's kind of like bad blood between Micah Parsons and the Cowboys right now. Should the Seahawks deal for Micah Parsons?
So, this has been an ongoing thing, right? A couple weeks ago, I told you and the listeners that there's no way Micah Parsons is not going to be a Dallas Cowboy come September when it's time to run out there. And I believe they open up the season Thursday Night Football. If I'm wrong, someone correct me, but I think it's a primetime game. So now as the weeks have progressed, you start to feel the tension between Micah Parsons and the Dallas Cowboys. And as the weeks have progressed, I'm starting to lean towards you got to make a run at Micah Parsons. Now, call me crazy if you want to. Who is the best GM in the game right now?
Maybe Howie Roseman.
Howie Roseman. And why is he the best GM in the game? Is because he's been able to, one, draft well. You look at their draft history, they've done a great job. Last year, you got Quinyon Mitchell and Cooper DeJean, who kind of headlined that. The year before, you got Jalen Carter, Nolan Smith, who headlines that. In 2021, you get Devontae Smith and Landon Dickerson, right? All you want are a few of these guys to contribute to your team. They've done exactly that. Guess what John Schneider has been able to do? Exactly that. Get guys to contribute. Last year, you get Byron Murphy. You got Tyrese Knight, A.J. Barner, all these guys that played. The year before that, you got Devin Witherspoon, JSN, who is now your number one guy. Derek Hall making noise at practice. Zach Charbonnet. Year before that, you got Charles Cross, Boye Mafe. Ken Walker's been up and down, but potential there. Kobe Bryant, Abraham Lucas, and Reek Woolen. John Schneider needs more love when it comes to drafting. But how do you take your team to the next level? You start making trades. This is what Roseman has done. All right, he acquired A.J. Brown for a first and a third-round pick. You get Darius Slay for a third and fifth. You acquired C.J. Gardner-Johnson. Then also you ship off Carson Wentz. You get a third-round pick. You send him to the Colts. It eventually turns into a first-round pick. You got to start willing and dealing. At this point, the Hawks still have their first-round picks for 26, 27, and 28. You know that it's going to take a first-round pick. People say, Bump, why would you give away a first-round pick? Because I don't anticipate the Seahawks picking 1 through 5, 1 through 10. They're going to be a team that's going to be around 17, 18, 19, 20. And, yes, it's a roll of the dice to give up your first-round picks. But if you're going after Micah Parsons, one of the best defensive players in the game, I'm starting to shift. I'm leaning towards Micah Parsons and saying, look, you can get this done. Now, the key into all this is, what is the offense going to look like? What is Sam Darnold going to look like? Here's a scenario. Say Sam Darnold just has an average season. 25 touchdowns, 10 interceptions, nothing too crazy. The offense is okay, but not great. But you got this young man, Milroe, who's been training all year and look like he might be ready to take over. What do the Philadelphia Eagles have? A mobile quarterback who can run the dang ball. If you can run the football with your quarterback, toss it up a few times, have a great defense, you look like the Philadelphia Eagles. So at this point right now, I'm saying, John, everybody upstairs, we're in VMAC right now. John, everybody upstairs, listen to me. You answer the phone, you make phone calls, you try everything you can to at least entertain getting Micah Parsons because he makes your defense better. Why did the Philadelphia Eagles win the Super Bowl last year? They ran the football, they played great defense, had a mobile quarterback who was nasty in the red zone. I'm looking at the Seahawks and I'm saying, hey, there's your recipe right there.
Let's talk about what a trade package would actually look like. We're going to go to cut number 1. This is ESPN's Adam Schefter.
I think if you look at that Khalil Mack package that was once given up for a pass rusher at a similar age with a similar background and similar accomplishments, I think that's what you're kind of looking at right now. Back then, Khalil Mack was traded from Oakland to Chicago. The Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, a sixth-round pick. So 4 picks for Mack, a second, and a fifth. I think that for Micah Parsons, you're talking double ones minimum.
Okay, so double ones minimum. Yeah, I can absolutely see it. Will you have the trade package that the Denver Broncos did for Russell Wilson? No, Russell Wilson's a quarterback, in which case it was 2 ones, 2 seconds. In this case, you're looking at 2 ones, maybe it's a second and a third, but certainly 2 first-round picks. To your point about, hey, the Seahawks aren't going to be picking 1 through 5. They're going to be picking 16, 17, 18. Fingers crossed they're going to be picking 25, 26 or later.
Right.
You're not going to get a player immediately as talented as Micah Parsons. And maybe people aren't realizing how undeniably talented Micah Parsons is. I saw someone saying, like, oh, do you really need him? Of course you don't fundamentally need Micah Parsons. Why would you not want Micah Parsons?
Right.
Micah Parsons is maybe the most talented defensive player in football right now, at least top 3, 4. He is better than
Easily.
any defensive player on your roster, and you have a really good defense. You could have a top 5, 6, 7 defense this year. You've got a lot of really talented guys. He makes you that much better. You have not had a defense with that top-level talent since arguably, the Legion of Boom was here? 2017 was the final year that all of them were here. That's been a really long time.
Yeah, it's been a while. And Chen is hurt right now. He's going to be back, right? I believe he's going to be back. Everything I'm hearing, he's going to be good to go. You got the veteran in DeMarcus Lawrence who's going to help development in Derek Hall. You do have Boye Mafe. But if you can get a for sure thing and you can at least entertain it and you have the means, the funds to get a for sure thing, you got to talk. You got to be having those conversations. And I think John Schneider is an intelligent guy, and he's going to do it. Now, is he going to be willing to give up a couple firsts? I don't know. But he's already been moving in different ways than we've seen before, right? It feels like with Mike McDonald over here, the influence is different. If Mike McDonald goes to John Schneider and says, Micah Parsons takes us to the next level, which he would do with any team, but a different level because he already believes in what's already here, why not do it? Offense has to show up. If Sam Darnold can be average, if you can run the football, control the clock, and sprinkle in your big plays, that's essentially what Philly did. When it was time to win ball games and Jalen Hurts needed to throw the football, he hit A.J. Brown for a big throw, hit Devontae Adams for a big throw. You do have JSN, you do have an older Cooper Kupp and an MVS, but I think they're capable of doing things to help this team be successful in this offense. The more that I look at this, the more I sit around and I listen to all the craziness coming out of the Cowboys camp with Jerry Jones and his son, the more I see Micah Parsons being frustrated, the more we make the connections between Dirty, who was Micah Parsons' coach over there with the Cowboys, and Micah Parsons even saying or mentioning Seattle at one point, the more I'm like, why not give this thing a look? It's all on Sam Darnold in this run game because I feel like the defense is going to be excellent. With Micah Parsons, they're elite.
Well, and look, barring obviously the Browns trade for Deshaun Watson involving multiple first-round picks, the Seahawks were one of the most recent teams to trade 2 first-round picks for a player. It was for Jamal Adams. Yeah, it didn't work out exactly the way you wanted. Oh, well, but John Schneider has shown a willingness to take those big swings. Bump, throwing a couple numbers your way, helping your point, is that the Seahawks have the 6th most cap space in the league right now.
Yep.
This is not a team that is cash strapped. They are a team that's going to have to make decisions on some of these upcoming contracts, so there will be a sacrifice that you make somewhere. In your mind, would that sacrifice be worth it to get Micah Parsons?
Yes, it would be worth it. There are no other Micah Parsons walking the earth as far as I know. Maybe he's a freshman out of college somewhere, but there's no Micah Parsons in the NFL right now walking this earth. He gets after the quarterback. He makes your team better. And here's one of the knocks that we hear about Micah Parsons, just his attitude, like he's a diva. And you and I were having this conversation before we got on air, and we're like, do we not remember the Legion of Boom? Was Richard Sherman not one of the most outspoken people in the world? Did Earl not have an attitude out there? Was Michael Bennett not like kind of different and difficult to deal with at times? Like, this is what you deal with when you deal with the lead players. Most of them, or a lot of them, just bring a certain type of attitude that you deal with because he's a 10. You deal with, deal with 10. 10s walk around looking all pretty and stuff, and I'll deal with a little bit of attitude.
Different.
All right, you just walk different. That's what Micah Parsons is. The more this thing drags on, the more interested I am. I just hope that it doesn't get down to the last preseason game and Jerry finally folds and this is all for nothing. But in the meantime, teams like the Seattle Seahawks need to be kicking the tires on this dude.
I'm going to be so honest, too. Like, you know that there's one side of the ball where attitude or personality or ego is absolutely welcome, and it's defense. It's one thing if you're like, oh, this quarterback thinks he's better than everyone. I don't know about that. It's another thing when you're talking about Richard Sherman and you're like, yeah, this cornerback thinks he's better than everyone. You're like, of course he does.
Yeah.
Of course he does.
Because
That's how he became so good. You don't go from being a 5th rounder to being one of the best cornerbacks because you think like, well, maybe I'll make that pick. You have to walk around thinking you're better than absolutely everyone else.
You're the man.
Micah Parsons is not, from everything we know from the outside, a toxic personality. He's just a big personality that's going to make himself known. He's going to disagree. He's going to have a voice on a defense. And frankly, maybe you're looking for that voice on this defense. Let's talk about the position itself. Bump, could you make an argument that whether it's Micah or whether it's someone else, this is an area of as close to need as you can get for a fairly complete defense?
Yeah, apparently I said Devontae Adams. I meant Smith. You guys know what I'm saying. But as far as a need, like there are guys on this team who I feel like can get it done. I think Boye Mafe is getting better. I believe he had, a few less sacks than he had last year. I'm looking at Derek Hall. I'm watching him do his thing. I feel like he can get it done. As of right now, the potential with those two are great. They could be double-digit sack guys. As of right now, there are none of those on this team. So why wouldn't you add a guy in 4 years as a pro? He's been an all-pro. He's been a pro bowler, and he's like top 3 or 4 when it comes to sacks getting after the quarterback. My guy missed a handful of games last year and still finished in the top 5 getting after the quarterback. The name of the game is to get the quarterback. If you are able to do that at a high clip and be supported in other places, you have an opportunity here. And I'm looking at this defense. I'm looking at Nick Imawari and what he's been doing. I'm looking at Kobe and Jay Love and Reek and Spoon and Ernest and Tyrese and with the defensive line with Byron. This is a talented group. Talent is going to win you ball games. And when you have a guy like Mike McDonald, who is the defensive guru in this league right now, one of them at least, why not give him more weapons to play with? Again, I'm always going to go back to it's all contingent, too, on what Sam Darnold and this offense can do. If you can run the football, be average throwing the football, you have a chance. You got to be the Philadelphia Eagles. You're not going to have a Saquon, all right? There's only one of those walking around, too. But the concept, the philosophy should be the same here. Roseman's done a good job drafting, which I think John Schneider has done, and then he's done a good job acquiring talent, which I've seen Schneider making these moves, and I feel like he's on his way as well. So this is a copycat league. This is what we do. I'm going to look at a team that's doing something that I like. I'm going to look at my squad and what I've done and say, I think we can mimic that. So why not go after it?
I have some listener responses. Ready?
All right.
Someone said, and more than one person has said something like this. So a common pushback is, well, we need a right guard. One of the top things I'm seeing is, well, does he play right guard? If he doesn't play right guard, why would I make this move? That's the biggest need for this team.
Because he's Micah Parsons. He's the best defensive player out there. Because this offensive staff believes that they have enough right now to develop these guys because the scheme is different. I'm not in the meeting room with these guys, so I'm not sure exactly how they feel about these dudes. But there's no right guard out there for you. There's the equivalent to Micah Parsons at right guard out there for you. If there were, I say you go out and get him. You tried to get I forgot his name, but he didn't pass physical or didn't want to take the physical. Will Fries. You tried to, but it didn't work out because he didn't want to do some of the things that the organization needed to make that thing happen. So, no, there's no equivalent to right guard Micah Parsons out there.
Someone else said, I don't want to give up that much, including the draft picks and salary, for a defensive player who's an injury away from being relevant. Everyone's
an injury away. This is football. You know who's an injury away? Our punter's an injury away from not playing. This is football. I mean, I understand your concern because it's happened before, and now you sound like Jerry. He might go out and get hit by a car or something like that.
Hit by a car.
If you live your life like that when it comes to acquiring football players, you're going to have the most mid-team or below average team every single year. You got to roll the dice sometimes.
Someone said too expensive.
He is expensive. And but he's worth what the price tag is. He is expensive, and it's going to force you to do something. It's going to force you to sacrifice some of these guys who are up for extension as well. But that's the name of the game. If you want a chance at a player like that, sacrifices have to be made.
Someone said no team's giving up multiple firsts and paying.
Guaranteed. You. If he's out there and Jerry wants to make the deal, teams are giving up multiple. It happened with Khalil Mack. It happened with, did Saquon get a couple firsts for Saquon? Anyway, it happens, and it will happen if Mike is available for trade.
Someone said we really don't need him.
Do you need him? Here's the thing. That's good. I don't think you necessarily need him to be a team to compete for the division. You need him if you want to be a team that's competing for a conference championship with the offense doing the things that they need to do. No, do you need him to be a good team? No, you don't. Do you want to be a good team, or do you want to be a team that legit every single week has a chance to win this ball game with the offense having their struggles from time to time, because I anticipate they're going to have that? No, you don't need him. He's a luxury item. Now, I don't think any team necessarily needs Micah Parsons. They want Micah Parsons because of what he can do to transform their defense.
I'm going to throw in one final thing, and think of it as kind of like an exercise, a thought exercise, and whether or not you'd want to trade for Micah Parsons. I mentioned that the Seahawks have the 6th most cap space in all of football right now. Guess who has the 3rd most?
Who that?
The 49ers.
Niner gang.
Now, thought challenge. How would you feel if the 49ers did it? You'd be mad, right?
I'd be heckin'
You'd be
mad.
heated.
I'd be
You'd
heckin'
be angry.
mad.
All of a sudden, you can see why someone would need Micah Parsons.
I'm sitting there looking at that house on my lawn and saying, man, I should have done my trim before them, because now their house is looking better than mine, and that's the trim that I wanted, and they done messed it up for me.
All right, our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Mariners start the first of 9 straight games against non-playoff teams, with 3 against the Chicago White Sox tonight. What's the real headline?
The ultimate don't play down to the competition challenge begins tonight.
Yeah, and that's something they've struggled with this ball club. But like you said yesterday on the show, is that the feeling with this lineup is night and day. And it's night and day because it is deep. There's no breaks in this. Even if you look at Canzoni, you say, oh, we get a break here. Yeah, lay one up there and watch him go yard on you. We know that he has a lot of pop, a lot of power over there as well. But it's about being you. And I like this lineup because Cal's allowed to have an off day, because Randy's there, because Julio's there, because Gino's there, because Naylor is there. But you're right. Do not play down to your competition, man. But it starts with the pitching. If the pitching can go out there and just do what they've done over the past couple of years, I think they should be fine. But I have to see it, because we've seen this team struggle against mediocre teams.
Curtis, speaking to Bump's point about Cal being able to have an off day if he needs it, literally as in like he doesn't need to play, but also he's allowed to have a down day. What have you seen from Cal and Gino, neither of whom have really hit the ground running in the last week or so?
Gino, it's a little harder because, I mean, it's been, 4 games?
Right.
And we've seen a couple of balls that he's hit kind of die out on the warning track, so maybe the marine layer is hitting a little different here in Seattle than the zero marine layer that exists in Arizona. With Cal, I mean, boy, he looks like he's just kind of flailing at the plate. I mean, Saturday's 5 strikeout game kind of sticks out to me as like something's up there. But the good news is that the lineup is deep enough to where Cal's struggles haven't really hurt you. You've been able to play some really good ball this last weekend against a good Rangers team. So hopefully just the rest of the lineup can continue to carry the load while Cal kind of figures it out. Good to see Julio and Randy still hitting well. That's been a big plus as Cal kind of tries to figure things out.
Before we get to the next headline bump, I'll let you know you really got the text line going here. There are some people that disagree with you, saying
That's
like,
fine.
I don't want, someone said all great arguments, but I think the current staff doesn't want that personality. Someone else said I
How
would
do you
never
know
give up
that?
that much.
How do you
I mean,
know that?
they
We don't know that.
No.
I think that the current staff wants to win ball games, and if you get a great player, yeah, but I don't know that either.
Well, can I add I don't know that this is what the 509 who texted that in is saying, but I think that we tend to do this thing where any personality, especially if it's someone who's outspoken, we kind of hit pause and we go, oh, I don't know, is that going to be a problem? And it's like, let me tell you what, having been in NFL locker rooms, at least as a reporter, there are a lot of personalities. There's a lot of alpha dudes in a locker room, and the best players are the biggest alphas. And so you're going to find that, trust me, there's already a brace of personalities on this team.
I was just going to say that is already in the locker room.
Yeah,
that
it's already
personality's
here.
already there.
And it's great.
Yeah, nothing wrong with it.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, the Yankees lost to the Rangers on Monday night via a walk-off home run. So the Mariners and Yankees are tied in the AL wildcard race. And New York is expected to activate Aaron Judge off the IL today. What's the real headline?
I'm sorry for this one. Please don't yell at me. Hopefully the Mariners can pass the Yankees in the wild card standings, because Cal did not pass Aaron Judge in the MVP race. I'm sorry.
I mean,
I'm sorry.
You're just being honest, though.
I'm
You're
just being honest. Love Cal. Hope he wins.
You know what? You know what the Yankees just did? They were at the playground and they got beat up by somebody they shouldn't have got beat up by. They ran home and called their big brother, and their big brother's walking to the playground right now. That's Aaron Judge. They're saying, look, I'm going to go get my brother. And if the brother's Aaron Judge. So come on, Aaron, go ahead and do their thing. But Texas, thank you for taking care of business there. Obviously, with Aaron Judge being back, this team is going to look different. Hopefully, he's not clicking the way that he was before the injury. But you are absolutely right. Mm-hmm. If Cal would have went on a tear for like 2 or 3 games or whatnot, and the 5K game doesn't help, maybe be a bit different. But it's still Aaron Judge's award to lose.
That being said, in terms of just a Seattle lens, I agree with your earlier point that it's actually kind of a cool thing that Cal isn't on a tear and this team is still winning and still looking really solid. And secondly, Cal is playing an incredibly difficult position, maybe the first or second most important position in baseball. Like that wear and tear is going to add up in a way that it just doesn't for an outfielder.
Headline Rewrites.
Headline 3, Ken Walker missed practice for the third straight day for what head coach Mike McDonald called foot soreness. What's the real headline?
You got to be able to walk before you can establish the run.
It seems like every year there's something with Ken Walker, and he hasn't even really had contact. And some of this stuff is out of his control, right? If I could have gone my whole career and not have surgery and all that stuff, yeah, I would have done it. It was out of my control. Things just happen. But what this does, it allows room for Zach Charbonnet. And we talked to Kubiak the other day, and the first name he mentioned when he talked about running backs is Zach Charbonnet. He also said availability is something that he values. Obviously, if you're not out there, you're not going to be able to play. So what does Zach Charbonnet have on Ken Walker right now is availability. And he also talks about how smart he is, how he's intelligent. He knows what he's doing out there. I think Ken Walker's the better back, but if you're not able to stay healthy, you're not able to be counted on. And it's out of his control. I'm not knocking the man for that, but that's just the facts when it comes to the situation. Get healthy, Ken Walker, because I believe that you are super talented. But if he's not able to go, I'm okay with Zach Charbonnet getting some more reps.
We noticed something really interesting when we were prepping for the show, looking at the Mariners this time last year versus this year. That's coming your way next.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and all these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com. Summer is here, and Washington Energy's BOGO 40% off sale is on now. Update and enhance your home with beautiful new windows and doors, expertly installed by Washington Energy Services. Save today with one of our best deals of the year. Buy one energy-efficient window, get the second at 40% off. And BOGO 40% off all entry, patio, and interior doors right now. From traditional to modern home updates, and with over 65 years of award-winning installations, Washington Energy is the clear choice. Call today for a free estimate.
Did you hear? A recent stash of $10 gold Liberty coins from the 1800s has been found. These gorgeous gold coins are as bright and shiny as the day they were struck in the late 1800s. And less than 200 of these gold coins are available. Coin experts are calling this gold find an incredible opportunity. Call 1-800-917-4635 and you are guaranteed a $10 gold Liberty coin minted by the U.S. Mint in the 1800s. But with extremely limited availability, you must call now. These gold Liberty coins from the 1800s are still in uncirculated condition. That is history you can hold in your hand. To learn more, call 1-800-917-4635. Call now and you'll receive a free American Coin Collector's Bonus Package, a $40 value, free with every order. Call 1-800-917-4635 now to secure your $10 gold Liberty coins dated from the 1800s before they sell out. That's 1-800-917-4635.
I just saw two houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Recovery doesn't have to be boring. This event proves it. Have fun with sobriety at the 5th Annual Recovery Fun Fest at Seward Park Amphitheater Saturday, August 9th. From noon till 10, there's going to be non-stop fun and events. They'll be giving away a free electric car at the end of the night. Receive 25 tickets towards the free car drawing just by showing up, and win more tickets throughout the day by engaging in fun activities. The fun starts at noon with free picnic and carnival-style food. Be a kid again and join drop-in kickball, softball, dodgeball, and volleyball games. Recovery Fun Fest kicks off at noon with open 12-step meetings at 1 and 4 p.m. with national speakers at 8 p.m. Lip sync battle at 9 and car giveaway at 10, where you must be present to win. Children under 18 can give their tickets to a parent or guardian or a friend over 18. The 5th Annual Recovery Fun Fest at the Seward Park Amphitheater, August 9th. Brought to you by Freedom Hall in Greenwood. This event is fun and free. RecoveryFunFest.com.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
When we were show prepping, we were talking about how just the general feeling around this Mariners team, for us personally, is just so much more fun, optimistic, exciting than it was last year, which was interesting because when we looked at this time last year, now the Mariners didn't play on August 5th last year, but they obviously had games on the 4th and 6th, so we looked at the 4th. When the Mariners played this time last year, they were in first place in the AL West still. And they were not, Curtis, was it they're a game better this year, but they were in first place last year, right?
Right.
But Bump, it feels like for a team that this year is roughly the same record and in second place, I feel infinitely more optimistic. And maybe this is a recency bias. Maybe if I were to flash back to me in early August of last year, I'd be talking about how this team could get to the playoffs. I don't know. But something about this year's team feels infinitely more optimistic and exciting, despite the fact that they had pretty much the exact same record this time.
No, I think the last couple years we've gotten to this point and felt like this team was capable of making the playoffs. There's a reason why they've only missed by a game the last 2 or 3 seasons,
pretty
something
much.
like that. Like, yeah, I think we felt that, but the reason why we know why we feel this way is because of Geno, it's because of Naylor, it's because of Randy, it's because of Julio as of late, it's because of Cal, even though he's been struggling. It's because you look at the lineup and you see more opportunity for execution, to whereas you were just hoping towards the bottom of the lineup that somebody had a game, and every now and then you would have a game from somebody down there, but nothing consistent. It was like Urias last year or something like that, and then Haggerty a couple years ago. It's crazy seeing Haggerty with the Tex, with the Rangers now too. But no, I think it's because there is proven consistency with this lineup. With Julio, might not be as consistent as you would like. With Cal, as of late, he hasn't been consistent. But you look at their baseball card and you tell yourself, okay, you can do this. And also, it's what's going on around them. It's because the Astros ain't who they used to be. Mm-hmm. It's because, the Rangers are keeping things interested, and the AL in general isn't as powerful as it used to be. So, yeah, we should be more optimistic. If you're not more optimistic at this point this year than you were last year, we need to have a strong sit-down conversation because this team is better.
This team is maybe the deepest they've been in well over a decade. Cut 4. Here's what Jeff Parsons said.
In fact, that is exactly what I wrote today. I think the important point is they're almost at full strength right now too, right?
Yep.
Bryce Miller looked awesome in his last rehab start at Tacoma. And with Bryce Miller carving in his rehab assignment with a fastball tickling 98 miles per hour and Victor Robles potentially back in September, the Mariners are 2 recalls away from having the scariest squad they've had since their resurgence started in 2021.
I love hearing it, and I know that they've had some pitching problems this year, but hear me out on this one, Bump. There is something reinvigorating about having a new problem. There is something that feels really exciting about having answers on offense, and then this time around going, well, is the pitching quite the same? Because I feel more optimistic that this team can get to the playoffs with this offense. I have some questions about whether you can get to a World Series without really solid pitching, but the players are here. That's the difference. You didn't have answers waiting in the wings with your offense. It was just, I hope Julio can play like God mode for a while. I hope that that's what can happen. And then if it didn't happen, then you were out of luck. This time around, this is an offense that can keep you afloat, push you, lift you to the playoffs.
I think the most important thing you mentioned was God mode. You don't need that from Julio right now.
No.
Like, you don't need it. You need him just to play better than average. God mode is something different. God mode is a 14-day stretch where he is just going nuts, hitting bombs, stealing bases, and doing things that we haven't seen before, which he's done throughout his whole career. He's done things we haven't seen before, including this year, 4th year straight in the 2020 club. But no, God mode is not needed from anybody. And I think that is what is most intriguing with this group, is because you needed to get to this point. Mm-hmm. You needed Cal to lead the league in home runs and RBIs. Now you don't need him to do that.
Yeah.
All right, have your timely bombs and drive some runs in, and you'll be fine because you have other bats who are capable of doing it. God mode is not needed from anybody. You guys just go out and play some solid baseball. What you do need is for this rotation to get back to what we're seeing. What you do need is for Bryce Miller to come back and hold down that 5th spot in the rotation, because Logan hasn't been able to get it done consistently. Emerson hasn't either. The tough part about Bryce Miller coming back is it's always tough for me to have high expectations for someone coming back from an injury. Even if he's down at AAA, carving things up, hitting 98 miles per hour with his fastball, it's just I have to see it at this level. And if there's any position to where you can just bring him in and they can get it done, it's on the mound. That's how he started his career, just coming in and dicing dudes up, and we're looking at Wu do the same thing. So I have more belief in a pitcher coming in and just picking up where he left off, rather than a guy with the bat. That's why I'm looking at Robles and I'm saying, all right, we'll ease him in, because big league pitching is a bit different.
I feel the same. I think that's what it is. So we've been asking ourselves, hey, if the Mariners had roughly within one game the exact same record last time and we're in first place in the division, why do we feel so much more comfortable this time around, this exact same time in the year? And for both of us, having discussed it, I think it's because we feel more confident that your pitchers that you have technically healthy on the roster can improve, whereas we were less confident that you could have a bat suddenly be who he hadn't been, or suddenly turn it on. There was just more volatility when it came to that. Curious what you guys think. 866-979-3776. The 206 says, well, also last year there was a dominant wild card leader with Baltimore, so there are just more opportunities to get in this year too. I absolutely agree that the American League feels shakier this time than it did last year. Baltimore's completely out. They're a non-factor, whereas last year they and a couple other teams just felt much more solid. I mean, even the Yankees are struggling right now. So
yeah, someone just asked me, 2-3 Bump asked months ago if Seattle would catch the Astros. You said no. Do you feel differently now? If you're listening to this show, you know I feel differently now. You know I feel differently, because a month ago I didn't think the trade would go down. I didn't think they'd get Geno and Naylor and Ferguson get an arm as well. No, I didn't think that, and I was completely false. I was wrong, and I think that Hollander and DePoto have done something that we haven't seen before. Last year they were good at the trade deadline, but to do what they did this time is remarkable. But yes, it's several things that make you think this team could do it. It's obviously the lineup that they put together. it's Julio looking better. It's the Astros looking garbage. It's the Yankees struggling, even though, Aaron Judge will be back. We'll see what happens there. It's everything that's going around. It's the climate, man. It's playing in a football game, and the weather is affecting you, and you're changing your game. The weather helps your game for some reason, right? If you are the Baltimore Ravens, you're playing against the Miami Dolphins, and it is snowing sideways and raining, you're thinking, yes, we have an opportunity to win this game because of what's going on around us. We're built for this. I'm looking at the Mariners the same way. What's going on around them? Teams are struggling. They're getting better. They're built for a run right now. You still have to execute. Nothing is guaranteed. And that's why I caution people, too, just to be a bit patient with Geno. There have been a few, like Curtis pointed out, that he squared up. And in any other stadium or ballpark, that thing is probably gone. So there's a acclimation that needs to happen. I'm giving him a few more series before I start tripping a bit.
206 said this time last year we weren't tied with the Yankees. The 808 says it's the biggest problem with this team. Obviously, last year being offense, they said this year the deepest position group in MLB, starting pitcher, is kind of where the Mariners have, quote, a problem. So it's kind of a good spot to be in, where you feel like you have, and I agree with the 808, you feel like you have an answer to your biggest problem. You're just kind of waiting for it to look like it. And Curtis, the three of us been talking earlier before the show started about just kind of like what we've seen from the starting pitchers. And you mentioned that, like, it's also still very fair that injury could have been a factor. Even if these guys are healthy right now, that those things can kind of linger and get guys off to tough starts.
Yeah, who knows what these guys are feeling after their starts, after rehabbing their injuries. Only they know how they're feeling after all that. But you can definitely see that, like, just the effectiveness of Gilbert and Kirby and obviously Miller, it's not what it was a year ago. I think, though, they are, especially Gilbert, he seems to be at least getting, well, I mean, he's had two tough starts his last two times out, but before that, it looked like he was kind of building towards something else. So, I mean, maybe there's something bothering him, but it felt like his last two starts were more kind of maybe the mental side of things, calls not going his way. He then starts bouncing balls in the dirt. But, yeah, I think those guys, specifically Gilbert and Kirby, are going to be of the utmost importance in trying to chase down the Astros.
A good point bump from the 206 said, technically, you only need 3 starting pitchers in the playoffs. You're right. You need 2-3 guys who can really get after it. Then you can have some question marks. You can't skate by with big question marks 1 through 9.
Yeah.
You can have a couple. Every team's going to have a couple.
Yeah, but we're not talking playoffs right now.
Yeah.
You got to get there. And I'd love to have a 5-man rotation that's looking really good to get you to the playoffs.
All right. We are going to go Seahawks and then back to baseball here. Fansided MLB insider Robert Murray is going to join us at 11. We got a lot of questions about the trade deadline, where this team goes from here, what the rest of the American League looks like after the deadline. Before we get to it, Seahawks starters will not play Thursday. Is that a good or bad thing for Sam Darnold?
As the calendar flips to August, it's all about the push to the playoffs.
Goodbye, baseball. Walk it off. J.P. Crawford with a walk-off 2-run home run.
Tonight, Mariners, White Sox.
First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
Every pitch of every game is on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
From whiplash to herniated discs, there are a few car accident injuries we've all heard of. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains that even the most common injuries differ from one another.
Pre-existing conditions, health history, beginning of treatment. There are hundreds of factors that make every person and every injury unique. While these variables aid medical treatment, the strongest case recoveries must also take them into account.
Could you explain a little bit more?
Our team at Pendergast Law is obsessed with turning over every stone to differentiate each case. This requires thorough investigation, diligent listening, and relentless research. We never pursue cases with a one-size-fits-all approach. We built our success by treating every injury and every case with the individualized attention our clients need and deserve.
Pendergast Law's individualized approach to even the most common injuries makes the difference in case outcomes. It's another reason why I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at seahawks.com/pro shop.
Got neighbors? Big Trees can help. This is Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. If you've been considering planting trees to add privacy, look no further than Big Trees. Privacy trees fill in empty spaces, help to define property lines, and add curb appeal. Learn more about Big Trees' big supply of privacy trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Beauty, privacy, instantly. Big Trees.
Ryan Reynolds here from Mint Mobile. With the price of just about everything going up, we thought we'd bring our prices down. So to help us, we brought in a reverse auctioneer, which is apparently a thing.
Mint Mobile Unlimited Premium Wireless. How to get 30, 30, better get 30, better get 20, 20, 20, better get 20, 20, better get 15, 15, 15, 15, just $15 a month. Sold!
Give it a try at mintmobile.com/save.
Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month plan, equivalent to $15 per month required. New customer offer for first 3 months only. Speed slow after 35 gigabytes if network's busy. Taxes and fees extra. See mintmobile.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
The home of the Mariners.
One hopper snared at short. Not a quick hop by J.P. Crawford. That guy's a magician over there at shortstop.
Seattle Sports.
Download the Seattle Sports app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Dave Wyman joined by a very special guest, Dr. Daniel Landis. He's on the Swedish CyberKnife team treating prostate cancer and accepting new patients. Dr. Landis, what could patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out. You essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Where are your patients from?
We see patients from all over, patients from out of state, Alaska, Idaho, from all over the world, honestly, since it's such a short treatment.
How can someone get a hold of you?
I would encourage patients to reach out to us directly. We'd be happy to schedule a consultation.
Thank you, Dr. Landis and the team at Swedish CyberKnife for the wonderful work they do. And remember, you don't need a physician's referral. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Go to swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate. That's swedish.org/cyberknifeprostate.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Mike McDonald talked about the plan for starters on Thursday against the Raiders. Cut 6.
When the ball snap, we're going to go try to win the game, and we're not going to be playing our starters. But
we're going to go compete like heck. I think Pete would appreciate that, and I hope Pete gets a great ovation. He deserves it.
I think he will get a great ovation, and he does deserve it, but let's pay attention to the first part of that. We won't play our starters on Thursday. Is that a good or bad thing for Sam Darnold?
It's to me, it's a bad thing.
Okay.
But a good thing. You got to keep him healthy. I don't think you want your backups to start the season. I think if Drew Lock were the guy to start the season because something happened, I think the offense could function.
Mm-hmm.
But you're paying Sam Darnold $35 million a year to be the starter and to be available. And it's about philosophy. Back when I was playing, when you had 4 preseason games, typically the starters would play in the first and the third, and then the fourth one they would sit out, and the second one would take care of that. Back in the day.
Back in the day.
Yeah, 4 of them things. It was a bit different. But it's about your approach and what you believe in. And what has Sam shown you as of late? The thing about Sam Darnold is he could have been horrible this training camp, and he's still going to be the starter out there. He hasn't been horrible. He hasn't been just extraordinary either. I think he's been a solid quarterback out there. But you want to make sure he's available, and you want to make sure other guys are available too. I always want to see guys get after it. But there are going to be other opportunities for him to show what he can do because they're going to have some joint practices as well. So I think because of the shift in the number of preseason games and the shift to having more joint practices, I think the joint practices are valued more for the starters and the preseason games valued more for the guys trying to make the ball club.
Yeah, I like your first point about it's bad in that, like, the starters, you do want to see them in theory get some time. That's how it used to be. You completely understand why they don't anymore. It reminds me how many unanswered questions I have about Sam Darnold. Like, really, this whole segment was just a reminder for me about why he's the single most important player on this team heading into the season and why he's maybe one of the single biggest questions for me.
Right.
I don't think Sam Darnold is going to be awful. I don't think he's going to turn into a pumpkin and not look anything like he did last year. But I also have a lot of questions as to how good he can be and how much of his success last season was the pieces around him, whether it's Justin Jefferson, his tight end room, an offensive line that, while deeply flawed, was technically better than Seattle's, a great play caller with Kevin O'Connell. I mean, there's so much I don't know about Sam Darnold, and I can't feel fully confident. And so I have to accept that we're just not going to get those answers on Thursday. But I'm being reminded in thinking about this question, how many of them I still don't have. We sit out there every day at practice and watch. And I still don't know.
Yeah. Sam has a lot of questions, more questions than answers. And the Vikings were willing to let Sam Darnold go because of, one, they drafted J.J. McCarthy early, and they felt like he was going to be able to develop. If Sam would have just made it, and that's the tough part, because I thought Sam did enough to make the Vikings say, okay, well, maybe keep him one more year and let this young man develop. Because we've only seen it 1 year with Sam, we're supposed to have all these questions, all right? It's not proven. Even though Jaden Daniels had the year that he had last year, 7th when it comes to MVP votes, I'm still waiting to see if he can do it again. I think he can. I think the difference between Sam and Jaden Daniels is completely different. But I'm using him as an example because he was one of the best quarterbacks in the game last year. And I'm still sitting here thinking, all right, let me see it again. C.J. Stroud goes out and at that time had the best rookie season we've seen out of a quarterback. I'm sitting back and I'm saying, all right, let me see if he can do it again. So Sam is being treated almost as if he is a rookie because he only has 1 year in this game to where he's performed at a high level. But they got to make sure their investment is available. So I understand why he's not playing in this first game. And also, they have more questions about the guys who are going to fill in the gaps rather than the starters. So you got to give those guys more opportunity.
Well, and speaking of the guys that are going to fill in the gaps, that includes an ongoing battle at guard, trying to figure out who that's going to be. Presumably, Olu's your starting center, but, like, that's not necessarily settled right now. So that's another part of the concern around Sam. It's not just a Sam Darnold question, though he is my biggest question. It's an offense question. It's, do you have the pieces to be the offense you want? You want to be Philly. In theory, you want to be the 49ers a couple years ago. You want to be able to have a quarterback who can throw the ball down the field, but who mostly can, like, kind of chip away. Right. But also you want to be able to run the ball and be really physical. Can you? You know what I mean? Like that. I don't have the answer to that yet. Everyone looks good in camp.
Yeah. Potentially you do. You know, scheme-wise you do. Assignment-wise you do. but you're not going to know until it gets real during week 1. And we're going to see the starters at some point.
Yeah.
I don't think you go this full preseason and not see the starters. Sam Darnold, as much as we know he's going to be the starter, he's also not Aaron Rodgers, who has 20 years of experience showing you he can do it. He's also not even Justin Herbert, who didn't touch the field that first year. There are other guys in this league who have 5-6 years of experience and a resume that shows I'm going to be good to go when the regular season hits. You just make sure I get there healthy. Sam just doesn't have that. So am I disappointed he's not going to be in the lineup the first game? Of course. But for him to not touch the field at all, I think that would be a mistake, and I doubt that we don't see him at all this preseason.
No, I think it'll be week 2 because Patrick Mahomes has played in the preseason before, typically in week 2. Like, even though it's Patrick Mahomes, maybe last year he didn't, but I think he typically does get out there. Josh Allen has played in the preseason, so I would imagine that on the road, right, against Kansas City, that we see at least a series from Sam, probably 2, maybe 3. And I'm really curious to see, what that looks like. We have questions about, what the new offense looks like with Clint Kubiak. We know in theory what it will look like. It's part of that Shanahan tree, but you obviously want to see it at work. In our final minute here, knowing that we aren't going to be able to see Sam and having both decided, like, Sam really should get some reps in the preseason, maybe it's next week, is there another player that we will be seeing Thursday that you're excited to see?
We will. And you know what? I have the perfect answer for you. But it's first down on 4-down territory.
Ooh, it's coming your way at 11:15. So we're going to go baseball here with Fansided MLB insider Robert Murray. We got a lot of questions about the trade deadline. And also, how about the pieces that they acquired heading into free agency after this year? What will Josh Naylor command in free agency? Could the Mariners afford to re-sign him? So those questions, all very important with Robert. And then, like Bump said, coming up at 4-down territory, 11:15, he'll answer that question about the offensive stars looking forward to seeing on Thursday. Don't go anywhere.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now.
This thing on?
On and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Now is the time. We talk about it year-round, but roofing season really is upon us. It's Mike Salk here. So what makes it roofing season? Long, dry days where roofing crews can work realistically sun up to sundown. They're cranking out projects all over our region, and Riverside Roofing is, of course, leading the charge. Local to Marysville, Riverside Roofing serves the entirety of Western Washington. They do amazing work. They've earned my recommendation, plus industry awards like GAF Master Elite's President's Club, a status fewer than 1% of roofing companies in the entire country actually achieve. Get a roofing quote in less than 60 seconds using Quick Quote directly on RiversideRoofingLLC.com. It'll pop up as soon as you go on their website. During and after your roofing job, you can expect a yard and driveway totally clean of debris. Behind their national accolades is a family company from right here in Marysville, built upon important local values like trust. That's why Riverside Roofing is the local roofing company you can trust. Go to RiversideRoofingLLC.com.
You gotta love football season, but when it comes to your windows and doors, you don't want any fumbles. Steve Rabel here, reminding you to trust locally owned Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington to tackle your project. Their selection of windows and doors can't be beat, and they'll give you top-notch customer service with no trick plays. Schedule a free consultation with Pella Windows and Doors of Western Washington. Go to PellaPNW.com. That's PellaPNW.com.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter? Right? And the best part? They accept Discover. Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
JTV Jewelry Television knows you love to sparkle, so now's your time to shine like the star you are. Enter JTV's Shine Like a Star sweepstakes for your chance to win $5,000 in dazzling jewelry from top brands, including Rachel Zoe Jewelry and Judith Ripka Jewelry. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of $99 or more when you opt in for emails. Enter now at jtv.com/likeastar. And remember, if you love jewelry, you'll love JTV.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back in action after an off day, this time with a series at T-Mobile against the Chicago White Sox. Brian Woo's on the mound. First pitch at 6:40 p.m. Pregame show at 5:30 right here on Seattle Sports. A running back gets a deal. It's not Ken Walker, though. The Rams are giving Kyron Williams a 3-year, $33 million contract extension. Williams was set to make just over $5 million this year, the final year of his rookie deal prior to signing.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time. From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
this is Bump and Stacy
on Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Lots to talk about with a very exciting Mariners team. Joining us right now, Fansided MLB insider Robert Murray on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Robert, how's it going?
You guys have me. How about those Mariners?
Sorry, say that again?
I said, how about those Mariners?
I
It's
know.
absolutely crazy what's going on.
I can't believe it. I mean, I'm guessing the answer is yes, but were you as surprised as we were to see the Mariners be as aggressive as they were?
Yeah, I mean, they were talking about it and just being like, yeah, we'll be aggressive. We're trying to get bats. We're trying to actually win a World Series. But we've heard them say it before and not really do much. But they ended up getting 2 impact bats, almost got a really good reliever as well. But instead, I mean, they got difference-making bats, and it showed that they're actually serious about competing for a World Series, which is a really nice change of pace for these Mariners.
It is. It's the first time people mention World Series, and I actually listen when it comes to the Mariners. Usually I'm just like, all right, man, we'll see. You're not being realistic. But in this case, it does feel like that. But you got two rentals, right? You got Naylor and you have Gino. What needs to be done or what needs to happen for these guys to want to stay here in Seattle when this is all said and done?
You can even hear it from a guy like Gino, who was there previously. Like, he was very open to the idea of coming back to Seattle, and going on a deep postseason run will obviously help their chances. But it's clear that players, they like being in Seattle. They want to compete for a World Series there. And when you have a guy like Gino say that he's open to returning there and wants to be there, I think that says a lot, because he's one of the more respected guys around baseball, and especially in clubhouses as well. So his opinion is definitely, it's a big thing. It's clear with how it's clear with how he joked with Jerry DiPoto the other day when DiPoto was doing his after the deadline press conference. There's a relationship there. There's comfort or comfortability there, and yeah, it's a good thing that they have going there. But winning is going to be everything for them now, because it's clear by making these moves that they're absolutely all in on this year, and anything short of a World Series would probably be a disappointment.
What's going to have to work for them moving forward? I guess what I'm really asking, Robert, is maybe your biggest question about this team.
Yeah, it's whether or not, are we talking for this year, or are we talking for long term?
This year, maybe this year and long term, especially if they're two different things.
No, I think it's whether or not this offense is going to end up being sustainable. And I mean, I think it will be. I had a lot of questions coming in to the deadline with what exactly, because their offense overperformed, or it exceeded expectations. I think that's a better way of phrasing it, in the first half of the season. And they needed to make some changes on offense, or add some pieces on offense in order to do so. So to me, they solved my biggest question for them. And long term, I think it's sustainable too, because one of these things that I really wanted to hone in on was them signing Cal Raleigh to an extension before the season started. He got a little over $100 million, and at the time, like, it was a really strong contract for the player. It was a move by the Mariners that showed that they're being aggressive and trying to spend money. But if they had waited, it probably would have been twice that, if not more, because the season that he's having has been absolutely unbelievable. So by being like aggressive and trying to extend Cal Raleigh early on, it may have actually kept their World Series, or at least playoff window, more open, or more wide open for the next few years. So I thought that was a terrific job by the Mariners front office, and something that's kind of been overlooked nationally.
So one of the questions I have about this team is just the rotation. A texter texted in, they were like, well, you only need 3 starters in the playoffs. And I'm saying, yeah, but we got to get there first. Like, we need that rotation to be on point. Logan has struggled. Emerson Hancock has struggled. And we're putting all of our eggs in one basket in Miller. Hopefully he comes back and he does his thing. Stacy and I had a conversation, and we agreed that if there's any position that can come back and just be on fire, it's the guy on the mound. What do you feel your chances are, our chances are, that Miller comes back and is the guy that we saw from last year?
I sure as heck hope that's actually the case, because he's one of the most talented young pitchers in baseball. And if they can end up getting him back and pair him with some of these other guys in the rotation, and hopefully one of the guys that struggled bounces back. But on paper, they have one of the most talented rotations, or just pitching staffs in baseball. We saw it last year, especially with what they ended up doing. It was the numbers that they ended up putting up were just incredible. And if you can end up getting guys back healthy, get things going, or just have more than just 3 options in the rotation going into the postseason, I think that'd be a huge thing for them. It is one of the big questions with the team, obviously. But I think,
He gone.
Oh, did we lose Robert?
He gone.
Okay, we'll get Robert back in just one second. I'm really excited. We'll have Robert continue answering the question that you had for him, and I'm also eager to ask Robert kind of a temperature check on the rest of the American League, too. I'm talking with a listener right now who said, God, I can't help it. I still feel kind of mediocre about this team, and I think it's because for 20-plus years, this team did let a lot of people down, so I understand it. But I think the context of the league is really, really important when you're talking about how far this team could go and what they could end up doing.
It's called competition for a reason, because you're competing against the teams and the personnel around you. So if the competition is at a certain level and you're looking at your lineup, it can either encourage you and say, you know what, I think we're good to go because of what's happening around us and what we have, or discourage you. And this is the first time in a while where I'm not discouraged. I'm thinking, okay, the competition isn't doing what we're used to seeing them do, and this lineup is better than what we expect. So yeah, it's competition. What is the climate?
Yeah, exactly. It's kind of like this exact team would, regardless of season, be the best lineup that the Mariners have had since, maybe 2015, certainly earlier. But Robert, thanks for hopping on again. Sorry to lose you there. We'll jump back into what you were telling Bump, and then we've got a couple more questions.
Yeah, so sorry about that. My internet decided to go out, which that's suboptimal timing there. But anyways, going back to the Mariners rotation, like obviously there's plenty of questions with what's going on there, and just in Miller and Hancock and some of these other guys. But still, like they have, I want to say, a top 10 rotation ERA on the entire season. And if you can end up getting some of these guys back performing well, get them healthy again going into the postseason, have more than just a few options, or maybe just more than 3 options, you can have something that between the rotation and the lineup as well, they can end up being a matchup nightmare for almost any team in the American League, which is it's wide open for the taking as well. So they're better positioned than most teams in the American League. And my optimism around the Mariners is kind of sky high at this moment, which can't really be said for where I've been in years past.
Yeah, nor where fans have been. And you perfectly led into my next question for you, which was about the context of the rest of the American League. I was just talking with a listener who said, I can't help it. I still feel like we're mediocre. We're too streaky. I know that everyone's excited, but I've been let down too many times. And I think that the context of what's going on with the powers that be in the American League is important. Robert, would you maybe kind of go over the teams right now that in your mind are like, well, these are the great teams in the American League, and do they feel more flawed this season?
Yeah, there's no real like dominant powerhouse in the American League. Like the Detroit Tigers have been everyone's darling, but they had a really underwhelming trade deadline. They didn't go out and make any big splashes, and it kind of caught some people off guard, but they just did not want to pay the prices that were being asked of them. And that was kind of a sentiment that was shared around the league, whether it was the Cubs or the Red Sox or other teams that were trying to go big fishing or try to add an impact piece. But then you have Toronto. I really like what they did, but Shane Bieber he's a question mark. You don't know what you're going to end up having there. And they're in first place in the American League. They're set up very well, but that addition by them comes with some questions. The Red Sox, they tried for Joe Ryan, came up empty, ended up getting Dustin May, and that deal was kind of a head scratcher in my eyes. And I'm not really sure what to make of the Red Sox at this point. I see some people say that they're a World Series team. I don't know if I'm necessarily there quite yet, because just the vibes around that team are just, I don't know. I just don't know what to make of them overall. The Yankees, I mean, they're struggling as much as any team in ball at this point. I mean, usually you talk about the big bad Yankees as like the American League favorite, but I don't know if I'd put them there quite yet. The Guardians had a pretty big sell-off. That could have been bigger if they traded Stephen Kwan, but they ultimately did not do that. But I'm going to end up going. I'm going to go to your guys' division now. The Houston Astros. How about them getting Carlos Correa? That was,
oh man,
not on my bingo card. I remember seeing the Bob Nightingale tweet saying that they were talking, and I'm like, wait, what? Like, that was not on my radar whatsoever. And I feel like I was not alone there. But they got Correa. They got better for sure. They absolutely did. And it's going to come down to probably those two teams in the American League West. I think the Mariners have the edge, but that being said, the Astros, doubting them in any category is a very scary proposition, because they have the pedigree, they have the players, they have Carlos Correa, who is a clear winner, back in town as well. It's scary, and you also got to look at the Texas Rangers too. They're hanging around a little bit, but I think it's going to end up coming down to the Mariners and the Astros.
Hey, Robert, as you know, in this business, every now and then you get to shine a little bit. You predict something, you break something that no one else is really feeling or hearing about. And you were involved with the Devers situation. What was that like, breaking that, and just break down the process? What you can tell me, because I'm sure you got some connects you can't really put out there like that.
Yeah, it was, I'm not kidding you. It was a relaxing Father's Day for me. And I laid by my pool. And then next thing I know, I'm sitting down on my couch, petting my dog Cooper. And next thing I know, I have someone call me. And this person does not call me ever. And usually if he does, something happened. And I started saying, like, hey, it's been a while since we talked. Like, how are you? He's like, dude, shut up. And I'm like, wait, what? Like, what's going on? He said, Devers is going to the Giants for Kyle Harrison, Jordan Hicks, and more. Like, go dig on it. And I'm like, what? I was convinced it was bad info. Texted somebody else, and he's like, yeah, that's right. I'm like, that seems too easy. I call somebody who would definitively know, and there was just pure silence at the end of the phone when he answered. And he said, "Yeah, you're right. Like you can tweet it." And I'm like, I asked him 5 times, like, this is right, isn't it? And he said, yes, like you will not look like an idiot. Cause I was worried it could be like the biggest miss of my life, but I knew if this person was telling me it was correct. So I tweeted it while I was on the phone with him, and my life changed ever since. It was absolute. My phone actually stopped working from all the Twitter notifications, which maybe that's my fault for having the notifications on, but it was bonkers, and I enjoyed every second of it, even though it was pure chaos.
Yeah, you insidered too hard is what happened, and then your phone just couldn't handle it. That was maybe the most shocking trade that I could remember in a while. Where did it rank up there for you in terms of, you're kind of like, you're checking intel twice, making sure you're looking at your phone, making sure the text is right kind of stuff?
Yeah, it was my number one by far. And it felt like the Luka trade. I had people around the industry, whether it was other reporters or executives or agents or players, tell me they saw the trade and their reaction was similar to the Luka moment.
Yeah.
And it was pretty cool to be involved in that. But yeah, I want to get the next big one. I don't know what it'll necessarily be, but I want to get the next big one because it's the adrenaline rush of all adrenaline rushes, and it's just it fuels me.
I love it. I love that for you. I love that for you.
I appreciate it.
For real, man, because every now and then it hits, man, and stuff gets crazy. So that was cool to watch that go down. Julio Rodriguez, man, he's such an interesting character over here. I've appreciated what he's been able to do, not to the level that a lot of people want him to perform. But how important is he in this run? I know we talk about, Naylor and Geno in the rotation, and it's almost Cal, and it's almost like people have kind of tapered their expectations and kind of pushed him to the side when it comes to the success of this team. How important is he to you this final, couple months of the season?
To me, he's the guy that can end up winning them the World Series. And we talk about Cal, we talk about Geno, Josh, their rotation. But there's a reason why the Mariners ended up extending Julio Rodriguez to the deal that they did. And it's got upside to be over $300 million. And you don't do that unless you think the guy is a franchise-altering player. And when you sign a guy like that, you expect him to shine in the biggest and best moments, and that's in October. And he's not put up the same numbers this year as he has in previous years. He knows that. I think everybody knows that. He's still a tremendously talented player. But if he can get going, and you can have him, you can have Cal, you can have the rest of the lineup performing at an elite level or just a really good level, they become the most dangerous team in the American League. So to me, he's the most important piece for them. It's Geno obviously is a great add for them, adds so much to the lineup. But Julio Rodriguez, if they win the World Series, it's going to be because of him, in my opinion.
Do you know how close the Mariners were to potentially acquiring someone else, maybe a bullpen arm at the deadline? And then how do you feel in general about the outlook with that group? They did add Ferguson, but I think some fans felt like, oh, you could have had an A++, maybe a little bit of fear they didn't add more.
They tried so hard. And there was at one point, it seemed like they were more focused on a bullpen arm than they were Geno. Mm-hmm. And there was, I want to say it was the day of the deadline or maybe the day before, I thought they were getting Duran from the Twins, and I was waiting for it. There was buzz. I saw that. I was waiting for it. Then I saw Joel Sherman's tweet implying that the Mariners were seriously involved. So I was like, okay, I'm not the only one that was hearing this at this point. And I thought that's where he was going. And then all of a sudden he goes to Philadelphia, and you wonder what the pivot is. And they obviously got Ferguson. I don't know who else they necessarily tried for, but there was some really good arms out there. I don't think they were too seriously involved in David Bednar, who was traded from the Pirates to the Yankees, but they definitely tried for Duran. Again, I would imagine they were probably the runner-up based on how serious they were, but I think they'll end up being okay.
All right, he is Fansided MLB insider Robert Murray. Robert, again, congratulations on breaking like the biggest story of the deadline. It just so happened to happen weeks before the deadline, but it was fun to talk about for weeks here. Really fun story. And thank you for taking the time today to talk Mariners. We appreciate it.
Thanks, Robert.
No, thank you guys for having me. Hopefully we can do this again soon, but I appreciate you both.
Absolutely. Have a good one.
You as well.
All right, let's get to 4 down territory.
This is 4 down territory. Going inside the game. What former Seahawks and Coug wide receiver Michael Bumpus.
Yeah, look at his phone ended up not working. That's what happens when you're too connected. First down. Who's your pick to be the offensive star on Thursday?
It comes down to 3 people. Halani, the running back, who I feel like is going to get a bunch of carries. Horton, the wide receiver out of Colorado State, who's been getting some burn with the ones. But it's going to be Milroe. I think Milroe has had an up and down type of training camp. I've seen him make some great throws. I've seen him throw a pick 6. I've seen the Milroe package with him back there running the football. He is one of the most dynamic players on offense out there. And because we're not going to see Sam Darnold, because I think they'll get Drew Lock out there to get him some reps, but everyone's looking at Milroe. And Milroe just has to look like he can keep the offense moving. The tough part about Milroe being the guy out there is that Kubiak is not scheming. Kubiak is not looking at years and years and years of Pete Carroll's defense and trying to find the perfect play and the perfect down and distance. No, he's keeping it real generic. I'm looking at the front they come out in, the coverages that they play. We're going to go run our offense according to that. But I would love to see Milroe excel, and I think he has opportunity to. Obviously, you're the quarterback. You touch the ball every down or every snap. It's going to be on you. So he's 1. Halani's 2. Horton's 3. But if all of that works, that means the offensive line is playing decent. And a lot of these guys are going to be on the ball team when it's all said and done, but it's the philosophy, right? If they're able to teach these 2s and 3s the philosophy and the technique, and they're able to execute, imagine what these 1s and 2s are going to be able to do when they get out on the football field. So I got 3, but my main one has to be Milroe.
Second down. What will make the situation even messier in Cleveland?
Man, they talking about Deshaun Watson getting healthy. They're talking about Deshaun Watson being able to go out there and try to compete once again. Sometime
Didn't he tear his Achilles yesterday?
Achilles, man, but they're talking about, look, if they get through this season and one of these guys shine, you still got Watson on contract, what are you going to do? That's like worst case scenario for the Cleveland Browns, right? You would hope that Deshaun Watson takes his time, he does come back, he doesn't look good, and you found your quarterback in one of these young guys, and Joe Flacco's been able to mentor them, and you start to move on. But every time I see a Deshaun Watson headline, I just shake my head. I'm reminded every single time I see his name, this is one of the worst moves in sports history, and it bites him in the butt every single time. So no, I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think he should be considered. I think you should just move on and take your L, that guaranteed contract that you put out there, and focus on these young guys and see if you can develop one of these guys so then the next draft, you're not searching for a quarterback, even though this next quarterback draft is going to be significantly better than the one this year. It'd be nice to find a starter in a 5th-round pick in Shedeur Sanders and make this thing work.
Third down. Atlanta Falcons head coach Raheem Morris, nice guy, cool guy, smart guy, but he said something recently that you kind of disagree with, at least partially. What was it?
Yeah, I partially disagree. He goes that he hates 7-on-7 drills. And he goes, it's not realistic. I want my quarterback to feel the pocket collapse. The linebackers aren't reacting to the run, and I get that 100%. But as a receiver, 7-on-7 teaches me coverages. It teaches me where guys are going to flow to, what they're trying to take away. It helps with timing with the quarterback. I know that there's no pocket collapse. And for the quarterbacks, too, it's like you're reading the shell of a defense. And when you're able just to look at a shell, it's almost like when you're reading a book. You know, when you're reading a book and the words are so easy, you're just flying through that thing. It's almost like you're not even reading. It's like sight words, right? The sight words, you're just moving through that thing as quickly. And then sometimes I read books and I'm like, what is that word? Let me sound this out. I've never seen that word before. What does it mean? Let's go look for the definition. 7-on-7 gives you sight words. I used to give my kids sight words flashcards all the time. That's what 7-on-7 does. So as a receiver, I line up and I'm looking at the shell of the defense, and within my first 2 steps, bam, sight word. I know what that is. I know what this defense is. I'm good to go. That will help me even when you have 11-on-11. The next thing I need to think about 11-on-11 is just the blitz, right? So I have my sight words. They're easy to go, and then you throw a new word in there. You see the blitz. I'm able to react. That's why I like 7-on-7. Is it true to football? No, it's not. But there's definitely some benefit in it. Raheem Morris, I don't think you're that old. I don't think you are. But you sounding real old right now with that 7-on-7 tape.
Yeah. Is there a word, speaking of sight words, sounding it out, is there a word you can never say? Like you always stumble over it without fail?
Like a sight word? Nah, that's money. But, man, there's some words out there, Stacy. There's some words out there. I can't think of one right now, but they out there.
There's some words. Fourth down. What starter should play in this first preseason game?
Gray Zabel. He needs a couple of snaps. We know he's going to be the starter. I understand not wanting him to get hurt, but he has to have that welcome to the NFL type of moment. He's going to get reps at the joint scrimmages, but, man, give that man a series. Just let him feel it. He's coming from North Dakota. I'm not saying ain't no ballers over there, but per capita, it ain't the same as even a Mountain West or even the Pac-2. It's just different. So I would love to see him get a rep or two. Let him feel the game. And I'm sure he wants to get a rep or two as well. He's a rookie. I remember me as a rookie, my first game was against Minnesota, and I could not wait to get in that ball game. My situation is a bit different than his. He's going to be the starter. I was fighting to make the team. But you get in there, you feel the game, and you're reassured, like, this is just football. Like, these guys are better, but it's just football. If I can read the shelf, I know my assignment, I'm where I'm supposed to be, I should be fine. I would love to see Gray Zabel get a series or two. I doubt it. Mike McDonald said the starters aren't going to get out there, but let the young man fill those pads.
You never want to count on a rookie. Doesn't matter if he's the first pick or the last pick. You never want to count on a rookie, and I know that is a general rule for teams. However, that being said, I think this team is counting on Gray Zabel to make an impact on the offensive line. What's your confidence level that he will?
It's pretty high right now. I think there are positions where we see guys come in and can have instances of sex. We've seen it everywhere. Receivers, running backs, quarterbacks, rarely at quarterbacks. But offensive linemen, we've seen that. Like all linemen, any defensive player and running backs seem like they can get into the mix and be just fine. So it's high.
Yeah.
But like you said, we're not dependent on a rookie, even though essentially we are.
I asked about words that you stumble over. TJ in the 425 says, I do tend to stumble over gratisfaction.
Gratisfaction.
Bump's got that one on lock, though.
It's easy. If you just you really just close your eyes and visualize what gratisfaction is, it'd be easier for you.
Gratisfaction should be a word.
It should be.
It really does. It rolls off the tongue. It sounds right. It makes sense. The second you hear it, you're like, yeah, satisfied. And what's the other word we were trying to say? Matt?
Gratified?
Gratitude?
Gratitude.
Gratitude.
Gratitude
I don't know
satisfaction.
I frankly don't know the other word you were trying to say.
Gratitude.
Grateful?
Grateful.
Gratified.
They want instant gratification.
Okay.
Yeah.
Gratisfaction.
Now gratification sounds like a fake word to me. Gratifying is the word.
All right, Hype Train coming up at 11:45. Drew Lock is going to join us in the noon hour. Excited to talk to the Seahawks quarterback. I'm sure we'll see a lot of him on Thursday. Don't go anywhere.
As the calendar flips to August, it's all about the push to the playoffs.
Goodbye, baseball. Walk it off. J.P. Crawford with a walk-off two-run home run.
Tonight, Mariners, White Sox.
First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
Every pitch of every game is on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be like really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
The 2025 Seahawks season is almost here. Get fitted for game days with jerseys, caps, and tees, including the 2025 training camp collection. Visit the Seahawks Pro Shop at the Landing in Renton and Lumen Field or online at Seahawks.com/Pro Shop.
The insurance world, it can be confusing. So have First Mark Insurance guide you through it by taking the free First Mark Challenge.
They'll explore offerings from top carriers for better coverage and lower rates. They save the Heward family thousands. Go to firstmarkinsurance.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Summer can be the best time of the year, but if it's not feeling good in your house, if it's turning into an oven, some of the problems might be because you don't have enough insulation in your crawl space or attic. In fact, many homes in our region have damaged insulation or even none at all. Yeah, it's Mike Salk here, and you got to get somebody to check on it. That's why you call Crawl Pros. They'll come out and do a full corner-to-corner inspection of your crawl space and attic. And if it turns out that you've got a problem with your insulation, and maybe that's leading to bigger energy bills, guess what? Local utility companies have special incentives to help with the cost of getting your house properly insulated. In fact, if you're a PSC customer and your home was built before 1990, you could qualify to receive a rebate on up to 95% of the cost to get your attic properly insulated. Yep, 95%. Call Crawl Pros if you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic. Schedule a free corner-to-corner inspection at crawlpros.com.
The home of the Mariners.
It is gone! Cal Raleigh, 2-run home run!
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
Need a new roof but not in the budget? A new roof doesn't have to break the bank. Justin Shirley, CEO of State Roofing and Exteriors here. Right now, State Roofing and Exteriors is offering 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's 2 years with no payments while getting the protection your home deserves. But this offer won't last forever. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today to get on our summer schedule now. State Roofing and Exteriors, held to a higher standard since 1968.
Is your car road trip ready? Don't get stranded. Get to Bucky's Complete Auto Repair. Bucky's has been preparing cars, trucks, and SUVs for safe, worry-free travel for over 50 years. We take care of your car with experience and good old-fashioned customer service. For all your oil changes, brakes, AC charging, and factory maintenance, choose Bucky's. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Visit Bucky's.com. Bucky's, where your car feels right at home.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
This is The Timeline
with Bump and Stacy.
Brought to you by 1-800-DUI-AWAY.
It is The Timeline, taking a look at the top stories you're going to see on your own timeline, so we're heading outside of Seattle for this one. First up, Browns reporter Mary Kay Cabot got a nice dig in at Bill Belichick's relationship with Jordan, I've heard it both ways, Hudson, during her Hall of Fame induction speech, cut 7.
Bill Belichick was the first Browns coach I ever covered. You see, if you start out with Bill Belichick, no one can rattle you after that. If Bill didn't like something I wrote, he'd call and yell at me. If you asked a dumb question, he'd call you out. Eventually, I had to learn to stand up to him. During one of those yelling matches, I told him, if you don't have the footballs to say that to the guys, then don't say it to me. Bam. But now, I totally understand why Bill gave me such a hard time. I was 28 at the time, and he just couldn't relate to a woman that old.
I'm sorry, but it's funny.
That's good.
You go, Mary Kay.
That's what we need more of that during Hall of Fame speeches. It's like, have fun with it. You know, I know it's
No, let's turn them all into roasts. I agree with you.
That would be great. I mean, you do have to respect it for what it is and give some serious thought and seriousness into it. But end of the day, let's have some fun with it. I like that.
I think it's really funny, and she's also wonderful at her job, and congratulations to Mary Kay. Next up, speaking of the Browns, everyone thought Deion Sanders would be front and center, of course, for his son Shedur's first NFL training camp, but instead, the younger Sanders told Cleveland media why he doesn't want his dad around right now. Cut 8.
I don't want him coming to see me right now because I want to get to where I want to go then for him to see me. I don't want him to come and see me, you know, get a couple reps and, you know, he's cheering like a good dad. Like, nah, you can't be proud of me right now. I got to get to where I'm going, and I know it's a lot I got to do to get there. So it's kind of like I just want everything that I'm doing is just like focus on this time, and I don't want no distractions because we know out of media, we know how everybody will take it and take away from the team just from him being my own dad showing up. So, you know, it's a gift and a curse at the same time.
I actually found that to be maybe the single most relatable thing I'd heard from Shedeur ever.
Here's the thing, like, parents show up to training camp all the time. They're just not on the field. There's a section for the families or whatnot, and that's typically where they are. If Deion Sanders shows up, he looks like a coach. He's walking the field. He's on the sidelines, and it can be a distraction. So I appreciate Shedeur just being self-aware and being aware of the situation and saying, nah, Pops, just chill a little bit. I got some work to do. You know, he's listed as the 4th quarterback right now.
That doesn't make sense.
The 4th quarterback behind
so it was
Kenny
Flacco,
Flacco,
Dylan Pickett,
yeah,
Shedeur.
and then Shedeur Sanders, which is crazy to me. But keep him humble. You go out there and ball out this preseason. Again, another reason why you should watch the preseason. Stories like that.
Yeah.
What is Shedeur Sanders, who is selling the most jerseys in the league right now? What's he going to do?
That's absolutely crazy. I also kind of relate to if it really is, I'm sure part of it is about, like, I don't want to take attention away. I don't want to be a distraction, you know. But I do wonder if part of it is like a perfectionist kind of thing, which I could see not just being the son of an athlete, but maybe being a professional athlete in general. Like, you probably do have to be kind of a perfectionist. And I don't think that would be uncommon sentiment from someone like that. Like, you don't have to be a professional athlete to be someone who might say, I don't want my parents to show up to sporting events, or I don't want my friends to show up to this thing until it's right. Like, I think that's actually pretty common among people who are perfectionists.
I used to tell my mom, even growing up, when at the start of a new season, except football, other sports, I'd be like, first game, don't show up. Like, just let me get a feel, and then show up after that.
Yeah, my mom never went to any of my swim meets. Part of it was timing, but also because
2:20 start or something like that.
Yeah, I was like right in the middle of the day. But also because it was like, I know I'm not going to be great, or I know we're going to lose, or like it's not worth it if I'm not going to be like the very, very best. And I'm not relating it directly to me. What I'm saying is I feel like it makes me see Shedeur Sanders slightly differently, because if that part of it is sincere, I can appreciate and respect that he's like, I want to be great and I don't think I'm there yet.
All right, hindsight. Do you wish your mom went to meets?
No, because I was never like, we were never great. It's kind of like track where you might individually be fine, but you need a certain number of people to actually ever win. So no, I never felt like she missed career-defining moments. And I'm also a perfectionist, so I can relate with that feeling of like, no one watch until it's perfect.
I would have snuck in that thing and watched.
All right, next up. Chargers offensive lineman Joe Alt and Trey Pipkins. Justin Herbert's also there chiming in. You'll hear him in the background. Were recently mic'd up and had a deep conversation about how foods are prepared differently around the country. Cut 10.
I grew with Joe for 4 years, and he became the player that he is now, which is, you know, arguably one of the top 3 quarterbacks in football. And
all right. we'll get the right one up here. It's
Did you know there's parts of the country that don't do tomato soup with grilled cheese?
That's probably true about a lot of places. We're just weird and have some crazy combos.
I feel like grilled cheese and tomato soup is elite.
Well, like, don't they not, like, they don't put cheese on pizzas in Italy, right? Isn't it just the sauce?
We're talking about our country. Yeah, in the United States, so I'm not talking about other countries.
No, I understand that.
Then why'd you bring up Italy?
Because I'm saying we put cheese on our pizza. They don't.
I'm pretty sure you can get the cheese pizza. Not the argument.
But
the argument was parts of our country do different things, and then all of a sudden you bring it to Italy.
Oh, you're saying inside of our own country?
Yes, that's what we're saying. Or at least I feel like I've seen that on Instagram.
Well, then what are they eating grilled cheese with? It'd be crazy if you're just eating a grilled cheese. Imagine just eating a grilled cheese.
That's what they do, I guess. I don't know.
So is he saying isn't it crazy how there are places in the country where you just eat grilled cheese without tomato soup? Or is he saying, isn't it crazy how within our own country there are such different practices and things?
I've only eaten grilled cheese without tomato soup.
No, and both Curtis, Matt, and I are deeply concerned.
Yeah.
I've never dipped it.
I cannot believe.
Bump. You're
I can't.
Out.
I'm gonna try it. It
No.
sounds dope. It
Bump,
sounds good.
Well, I can't. How have you not?
It's
what do you mean?
A proven method.
But how did you just only like a couple weeks ago hear about tomato soup and grilled cheese?
I think I've seen it, but I've never said, "Hey, I just give me the grilled cheese." You know, that's how we did it.
I guess I just.
You've never just had a grilled cheese sandwich? You always had the sauce?
I mean, I don't know, but almost without fail, they come as a pairing.
I think because I don't buy it, I don't order at a restaurant. Just my mom used to make grilled cheese and just throw the grilled cheese at me.
But you've never had it dipped in tomato soup?
Never had it dipped.
That's crazy.
It sounds great though. I'm gonna try it.
It is great.
I'll let you know.
It's phenomenal.
I think it's just one of those things where it's like you feel like you know someone and you feel like you understand them, and then you'll hear some wild thing like, "Oh, I've never had grilled cheese and tomato soup." What do you mean? Is that a thing? And like you just see them differently. Yeah. Like I see you differently.
See me differently?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I wouldn't say it's less respect, but it's something like that. It's just absolutely insane. Absolutely insane.
What is the weirdest regional dish? Because they were getting kind of into that too, where it's like, food is prepared differently in one area of the country compared to another.
When I don't like okra, and like cheese grits to me is gross. That's a regional thing.
Yeah, that's like the South.
Yeah, so
grits are kind of a weird texture.
I would say grits and then like
grits.
hearty grits.
Cultural.
Yeah, but grits with sugar, cool. Grits with cheese, weird.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think of grits and I think like making it sweet, more like an oatmeal. But I think to me, it's adding cheese to it was something I didn't learn about until much later, and I was like, what?
I had never heard of this until I was well into adulthood. But apparently in the Midwest, like kind of around Nebraska and Iowa, they have with their chili bowls a cinnamon roll. That to me is a weird combo.
With a cinnamon roll?
Chili.
I've heard of that. Where's that from?
It's like Nebraska and Iowa.
Yeah, I've heard of that.
I don't like that.
I don't know about that.
Middle portion of the country.
I don't know about that one.
That's
no.
a weird combo.
Yeah, I'm going to call the cops. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Hype Train coming your way next.
Blue 88, every day at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
What are you hearing with these young Seahawks?
Yeah, the words I continue to hear, betting on themselves. They're betting on themselves because these college kids are coming into the league with millions, but if you're Kobe Bryant, are you going to say, hey, man, on this defense, I'm going to be a great player. And I'm going to go to the market and I'm going to have 31 other teams bidding for me rather than taking it now.
Blue 88 on Seattle Sports. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, what's up? It's Michael Bumpus here for Silver Reef Casino. I want you to get on the highway, I-5, go north, and get off on exit 260. That's where you will find Silver Reef Casino. It's a great place to get away, recharge, and get your mind right. I've done it, and I loved it. I went to the rooms that were comfortable, spacious, had free Wi-Fi, also have tablets as well. When I was done settling in, I went downstairs. I went to the steakhouse and the cantina for some authentic Mexican food, and now it's time to watch some ball. I went to Porter's Bay Sports Bar, had a drink. TVs are everywhere. The vibes are good. My golfers, they got you covered too. Loomis Trails Golf Course has 18 holes with water almost everywhere. Get off the box, hit it straight. Also, they have promotions this month. You can win $10,000 every Saturday with a grand prize of $50,000. Have great events as well, entertainment. If you want to see some tickets, go to silverreefcasino.com. Silver Reef Casino is not a secret anymore.
It is that time of year. I cannot wait for the weather to get warm like it is now on consecutive days. That means I can break the motorcycle out, ride to work, ride all over the place, and I love it more than just about anything. But I also know that it's not a matter of if, but when you get in an accident, what are you going to do? Well, I'll tell you, when you're injured in a motorcycle crash, don't settle for firms that say they're motorcycle lawyers. Trust the ones who live it. Law Tigers has been a part of the writing community for nearly 25 years nationwide. They are here 24/7. 365 days a year because writers deserve real support when they need it. Law Tigers is the resource writers can turn to when they are in need. Law Tigers is out at all the events and supporting all clubs and shops. The Law Tigers are always by your side. Your case evaluation is always free. There are no fees until your case settles. The Law Tigers, you never ride alone. Law Tigers, Washington's motorcycle lawyers. Jimmy Cook, 539 Broadway, Unit 104, Tacoma, Washington, 98402.
Summer's here. Get ready for backyard barbecues, trips to the pool, and COVID-19?
That's right. COVID isn't taking this summer off and can actually spread year-round. I'm Dr. Simone Wiles, and as an infectious disease expert, I know my patients are often surprised by this fact. They don't expect COVID to strike in the summer and derail their plans, but guess what? It can. COVID can be unpredictable and quickly turn serious, especially for those who are 50 plus or have certain underlying medical conditions. The good news is that if you start feeling sick or test positive, you don't need to wait it out. Prescription medications exist to treat COVID for certain people. If you catch COVID this summer, don't delay. Ask your doctor if prescription medication is right for you. Learn more at pfizerforall.com/COVID-19.
This message is sponsored by Pfizer.
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
If you've been in an auto accident, you have the right to take your vehicle to any repair facility. Accurate Auto Body has been family owned and operated since 1994, and they work for you, not your insurance company. Your insurance company may not love them, but you will, because
We meet by accident, fixing every last bit, Accurate Auto Body.
The home of the Mariners, Seattle Sports.
Cal swinging a drive, deep to right field.
Every pitch of every Mariners game is on the Seattle Sports app.
Guys, did you know your testosterone affects everything in your system, including how you feel and perform every day? Right now, Revive Men's Health Seattle will check your testosterone for free. Knowing your T levels is the first step in understanding if you have low T. Your testosterone level impacts your energy, libido, sleep, weight, hair loss, mood, and even ED. Maintaining an appropriate T level can change your whole life. Most men start to see changes in their hormone levels in their 30s. Experience and results matter. So what are you waiting for? Get your T levels checked today by local, experienced, and trusted men's health experts. They've helped thousands of men since 2011. They're so confident they can help you, they even guarantee it. Call Revive today and schedule your free testosterone test, free exam, and free consultation. Call Revive Men's Health at 206-529-1111. That's 206-529-1111. Or visit ReviveMen'sHealth.com.
Free consultations, no fee guarantees, 5-star reviews. J.P. Pendergast with Pendergast Law explains the importance of going beyond these familiar offerings.
Accident victims want an attorney, Tom, that satisfies their needs. Someone who handles those needs with the highest degree of care. Pendergast Law offers the no-fee guarantees and free consultations, but these only scratch the surface.
Okay, explain more.
We make sure that every member of our team is genuinely passionate about helping others. Customer service and communication are our top priority. It's how we take care of our clients so they always feel one step ahead of the insurance companies. Our strong reputation for high standards provides comfort and confidence when it's needed most.
Pendergast Law offers the free consultations, the no-fee guarantees, and of course, they are 5-star rated. But what really makes them different is their genuine passion for helping others. I can't recommend them enough.
If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
That's PendergastLaw.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
We are live outside at Seahawks training camp. Drew Lock set to join us in just a little bit. Afternoon, our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Right now, we're heading to the station for Hype Train. Let's go. My first hype train here felt like when I have those hype trains that are just vibes and you guys are going to board no matter what. But I do want us to try to have some kind of analysis because I'm guessing we're all going to board. Cal bounces back and gets the first hit of the game.
First hit of the game. He doesn't bat lead off, does he?
No, he's going to be second.
Randy does, right?
Mm-hmm.
Randy's going to get the first hit of the game.
Okay.
But he does bounce back. So I'm kind of on this train, but because I believe that the guy in front of him is going to execute, I'm not on the train. But it's not a bad thing that I'm not on this train. It's a good thing that I'm not on this train because Randy's going to get the party going.
Okay. Cal bounces back and gets the first hit of the game. So maybe as part of this, I'm hoping to hear reasons that Cal won't be in a slump. Curtis, are you boarding? Bump isn't, but he says it's still good vibes. It's just that he thinks Randy's going to get a hit.
So I'm going to board this train, and here's how it's going to go. Randy's going to work a walk, and then Cal's going to put one in the right field seats tonight. That's how it's going to go. Two-run home
so you're
run.
going home run right off the jump.
Yeah, Mariners going to start off with a 2-0 lead, and it's going to be all business from there. So, yes, Cal bounces back. Home run number 43. He keeps Kyle Schwarber at bay, keeps Ohtani at bay. Judge is back tonight. We don't have to worry about those guys passing Cal tonight. So I think we see home run number 43.
Yeah, I don't love that Cal's in a bit of a slump, but I think it's very natural and it happens because it's baseball. That being said, good players, and Cal is one, don't stay there. Eventually they come and have a great game and then kind of bounce out of it. And I would anticipate that 9 games against weaker opponents, including, this series right here against the White Sox, gives them a chance. So, yes, I created this train, and I'm boarding this train. I'm the conductor. Next up. Mike McDonald said that no Seahawks starters are going to play on Thursday when Seattle welcomes the Raiders for preseason week 1. I'm going to guess that the Raiders are taking that approach too, but here's the deal. Starters should play at least a series in every preseason game.
Another train that I'm going to let go by.
Okay.
Because in all preseason games, no. In 1 or 2, yeah, for sure. But like I mentioned earlier, is that they have these joint practices where they get more evaluation out of their starters and can kind of control the environment instead of it being all crazy and in real football. So all preseason games, if you said one, that I would have been like, all right, yeah, let's get on this train. But all of it isn't necessary. I mean, guys, that MVS is going to be good. Cooper Kupp's going to be good. JSN is ready to go. But as a player, I think they want to feel the game at some point, but one series, all game, or all preseason games, nah, I'm not with that.
Starters should play at least a series in every preseason game. Bump said, nah, I can't make myself board this one, though he would like to see the starters eventually in the preseason here, maybe week 2. Curtis, are you boarding?
I'm not going to board. I think the third preseason game should be just left for all the reserves, all the backups, all the guys fighting for roster spots. That's their last opportunity. It's going to matter more to them than it would a guy who's already got his roster spot cemented. But I would love to see the starters play at least a series or 2 in the first couple of preseason games. Especially, I mean, in this version of the Seahawks where Sam Darnold is your starting quarterback and he's trying to learn an offense and get assimilated to what the Seahawks want to do here. Nothing can replicate game reps, and I think that's going to be very important for this offense as they kind of, try to feel each other out and try to get acclimated. But you're not going to see Sam Darnold out there on Thursday night, so I kind of wish we would. But all preseason games, no, but definitely some.
I'm not boarding this one either. I'm okay with the starters not playing in this one, though I really hope we see at least a series, if not 2, maybe 3 in game 2. Next train in. So normally hype trains are about what will happen, and if you think it'll happen, you're boarding. This one's going to be opinion-based. It's what should happen. The Seahawks should trade for Micah Parsons.
The Seahawks should trade for Micah Parsons. I'm on that train. I'm on him. Go ahead and trade for him, man. Go ahead and get your Howie Roseman on. Go ahead and get as much talent as possible. I'm not mad if they don't. Like, if they don't even Take a look at the young man. I'm not tripping. But if you have an opportunity and you feel comfortable with what they want and you feel like you can still build with what they're asking for, yeah, you go ahead and do it. He is the best defensive player in the game, and he will take this defense to a next level. A defense that needs to be better than the offense to start the season. I'm all for it.
The Seahawks should trade for Micah Parsons. Not about whether they will, whether they should. Bump is boarding. Curtis, are you?
Yes, I think they should. Boarding that train. You're only going to get an opportunity to add a player of his caliber once a decade. Like, this is a top 10 player in the NFL, not just by his position. We're talking everybody, stack him up talent-wise. He's in the top 10. He's 26 years old, so he's not even entering. He's just now entering his athletic prime of 27. This is somebody that all 31 other teams in the NFL should be doing whatever it takes to get him out of the Cowboys' grasp. So, yeah, the Seahawks should absolutely go for it.
I think they absolutely should as well. All aboard this one. I think that there are two counterpoints, maybe three, that people usually make against it. One is that you don't need him, but that doesn't matter. I mean, one thing that we've praised, to Bump's point, the Eagles about is that they add to areas where they already have depth, and that's how you become elite, and that's how you are able to withstand injury there. They add to their offensive line when they don't need linemen. They add to their defensive line when they don't need defensive linemen. And by the way, the Seahawks could use extra help in their front seven and on their defensive line. Uchenna Nwosu is not playing right now. Obviously, you don't want to have to pay that much, but the Seahawks have the 6th most cap space in the league. They'd have to create a little wiggle room, but it's still far more doable for them than it is for several other teams. And finally, yeah, in theory, you would want to be able to draft and develop your own players, but you're not going to really have a great shot at getting that kind of talent with the draft picks you already have. Maybe you strike gold and you find that guy and you get him on a rookie deal, and that's fantastic. But right now, he's available to you if you want to make the move.
You know who they shouldn't trade for? This kid about 100 yards away I saw try to run over the backs, just fall and smack his face into the ground.
Oh, this little child? Literally a child.
He got up, though. He got up.
He did it that time. And you know what? To be fair, that ball that was just thrown to him that he completely did not catch, it was a little high.
Hey.
It was a little high.
That made my day. You know what? I will sit and watch kid bloopers and fails all day. It brings joy to my heart.
That's so mean. Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Still to come, Drew Lock's going to join us from Seahawks training camp. Don't go anywhere.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by The Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
For over 113 years, Pacific Lamp and Supply Company has been your #1 lighting specialist in Washington, from the Space Needle in Seattle all the way to the Riverwalk in Spokane. With the largest lighting inventory in Washington, Pacific Lamp's knowledgeable and experienced staff can assist with any lighting issue, including intricate lighting and control designs. Plus, they work with all utilities in Washington to get you the best available lighting rebates. Pacific Lamp and Supply Company, Washington's lighting experts since 1912. Visit pacificlamp.com.
Top Fitness Stores, the Puget Sound's premier fitness equipment store, is having a summer sale. Right now, they're offering the Inspire FT2 functional trainer at $2,000 off. Check out Precore's new 500 series treadmills and ellipticals. They're also offering the Inspire T5 fold-up treadmill at $500 off. Do you have an empty room in your house? Give Top Fitness your room dimensions, and they'll do a complete fitness room design. Top Fitness also has the flooring to complete the fitness space you dream of. As always, get the best advice and service from the team of experts at Top Fitness with professional delivery and assembly. It's no secret that everyone from personal trainers to professional athletes loves Top Fitness. From simple items like weights and accessories to complete home gym packages. Check out the summer event now. Top Fitness has locations in Tukwila, Linwood, and Bellevue, or visit topfitness.com for more info. That's Top Fitness, your best place for home fitness equipment.
Are you road trip ready? Bucky's Complete Auto Repair will make your car safe and dependable with expert service and old-fashioned care. Brakes, oil change, factory service, and more. No appointment needed, and yes, friendly financing is available. Bucky's.com.
Hey friends, Stacy here. Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of their great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
Finding great candidates to hire can be like, well, trying to find a needle in a haystack. But not with ZipRecruiter. Its powerful technology actively finds and invites qualified candidates to apply to your job. So while other companies might deliver a lot of hay, ZipRecruiter finds you the needle in the haystack.
See why 4 out of 5 employers who post a job on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. Try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. That's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Grainger who does the same. Grainger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
Does your yard need shade, privacy, or a little brightening up? Look no further than Big Trees. I'm Nancy Penrose, owner of Big Trees in Snohomish. At our 30-acre location, there are thousands of trees to choose from and knowledgeable staff, including a board-certified master arborist, to help you find exactly what you're looking for. Visit the nursery and learn more about Big Trees at bigtreesupply.com.
Is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bump and Stacy.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Michael Bumpus and Stacy Ross.
Here we go now. Joining us right now at Seahawks training camp, Seahawks quarterback Drew Lock. And Drew, not only have you looked absolutely amazing, but every time I talk to anyone, like if I show up a little bit later, I'm like, well, what did I miss? Without fail, oh, Drew looks amazing. Drew Lock looks absolutely phenomenal. So what I'm curious about, Drew, is have you been working on something new? I mean, like what's gone into, I don't want to say a lot of the improvement, but you just look so sharp. You look so great out there.
Well, you know, quarterback position is unique. I mean, everybody feels this way probably, but the older you get, the more reps you bank, right, the more football you've been around, the calmer you feel, the more confident you feel. I've seen this, I've done this. It just ends up making football a little easier. It's never easier is not a great word. It's never easy. But also being back here with guys that I've actually had reps with before. You know, I'm throwing a Bobo, I'm throwing a Cody. There's just familiar faces. You know how they run routes. I've been in this style of offense before. There's just a lot of things that are reoccurring. You know, like it makes it a smooth transition into a new offense, and it's been a lot of fun.
Oh, you're crushing it.
Thank you.
What was in the decision-making process to come back here? I'm sure you had other teams reaching out to you. What made you want to come back to the Northwest?
Yeah, well, this is a special place for me. I love this organization for the 2 years that I was here. Love the city. Wife loved the city. But I've told this story. When we were prepping to play the Ravens my second year, maybe my first year here, going against Mike's defense, we had a long week of talks and conversations on what we were going to do, how we were going to attack this. And, you know, with him being here, you know your defense is going to come to play. Just the trajectory of this team, bringing Sam in, it's just it's an exciting time here, and it was something that I couldn't pass up, especially considering I love everybody here. I love this city. I love this state. It's just, you know, it's a special time, special place.
Mike's talked a lot about kind of having an open door policy, and so far we've heard a lot of the defensive guys like Derek Hall or Boye kind of being like, oh, it's great, you can stop by and you can just talk to him. And I've wondered if the offensive guys feel the same. Like, I can't tell if you guys would maybe spend more time talking to Clint, or if you ever just pop into Mike's office and, hey, Coach, I have a question about this.
No, he's very inviting. You know, earlier in OTAs, I wanted to be here. I wanted to show up, but had the tragic passing of my father in early April. His door was wide open for me to come and talk. He did a great job of, you know, separating football and the business side of it, and realizing that, yeah, we have a really important job out there and leading this team, but there's also real life aspects to, you know, who we are. We're not just athletes, we're still kind of people too. And he did a great job of that, and it said a lot to me when I first got here for us being able to have some of the conversations that we did and, you know, break down a little bit. But, yeah, that open door policy is real, and it's a benefit to use it because he's a smart guy. He's been around a lot of football, and he's very personal too. So,
what's your role with development when we talk about Milroe and these young receivers as QB2? Because I would assume, like, all right, Sam, he's the leader or whatnot, but your role is so important. Like, you're getting reps with these guys. You're probably spending more time with some guys than Sam does. Like, what's your role in the whole development of this offense and these young dudes?
Yeah, no, you're spot on. It's kind of an untalked about thing. The starter and the ones, you know, they need to get their fine-tuned down, and Sam needs to focus on him and his offense and what's going on, and that's where I can kind of come in with everybody else, especially Jalen. Jalen's not afraid to ask Sam questions, but he also knows that, you know, I'm here, and let Sam focus on what he needs to focus on sometimes, but I'm here for him, and that's been a lot of fun, being with these young guys. That's a cool part of training camp, and even OTAs with the rookies coming in and guys that are dealing with their first training camp, how to handle it. Really, it's the mental side of it. Defense is going to get us some days. We're going to get the defense some days. You can't ride that roller coaster. You got to be a little steady Eddie out there, and you know, just enjoy each day. But having Jalen in the room as a rookie has been fun. I've not had a rookie quarterback in any quarterback room that I've been in for, now this is 7 years, so I finally get one.
Wow.
It's been fun to listen to questions that I've heard myself ask, you know, back in the day. So being able to give him good advice and kind of be there for him is a part of my job now. That's kind of really fun. Been waiting for it, and I finally get that opportunity to help a young guy.
You know, I always see the other position groups that do not rookie hazing, but, you know, maybe the rookie carries the pads in. Maybe they're bringing snacks. Is Jalen in charge of anything, or do you guys keep it? It's just, you know, the three of you.
Yeah, we're pretty cordial.
Yeah. Keep it professional.
Yeah, I'm not sure Sam's pass, but my pass, my old vet, my rookie year was Flacco. And it was just some candy in the quarterback room. That was it.
Oh,
no
not
hazing.
too bad. Yeah.
We're all on the same level here, right? Like, you're not carrying my pads in.
Right.
We're not going to do that. We got enough to worry about other than Jalen carrying our pads in and doing stuff like that. He does keep the fridge stocked.
Nice.
In the quarterback room.
There you go.
Well done.
That's probably his one task.
Yeah.
Man, you said 7 years, and I started going back and thinking about when you first came into the league, and it's, as you know, it's such a blessing to be in this league that long.
Yeah.
What is it about your game and how you prepare that's allowed you to enter your 7th season here in the league?
Yeah, I think it comes from the different roles that I've had to play in my career. Like coming in as a rookie, playing late in that first year, but being ready to play, starting my second year, being moved to a backup. I've just done a lot of different pieces, a lot of different things, and I've had to learn how to operate in those different roles to where whatever role I feel like I'm going to be thrusted into, whenever it might be, I'm ready for it. And I think talking about the quarterbacks, like we said earlier, just fine wine. You know, this is what the quarterback position is. The older they get, the more fine-tuned their routine is, the more they know how to study, the more they've seen defenses, ran a certain offense. I've had 4 or 5 offenses now, so I feel like I can pick up pieces from all of them and just try to mesh them all together. But a roundabout way to answer that is just there's been a lot of time on task with small details over the last 7 years, so kind of fine-tunes everything.
Yep.
How have you mentioned your wife being really excited to get back to Seattle? You guys obviously have a young family. How's that been going? Have you guys had chances to kind of take family time? I know that the football season can be so hectic. You know this.
It is.
Have you had breathers?
A little bit. I think the cool part was my last year here, he was born January 15th, so we just finished the season.
Yeah.
And my deal was done here, and we're leaving, and it's like she was pregnant. You see all the things that you want to do when the baby eventually comes, but it's like, no, we have to leave.
Yeah.
Like, we can't experience that with him. Sure enough, a year later, when he can actually walk and go do things, we end up making our way back here and getting to enjoy some of the things. Like, oh, yeah, remember we wanted to do this, we want to do that. Cougar Mountain Zoo up here is actually
you guys
fantastic.
Checked it out?
Yeah, we went there, walked around. It's just big enough to feel like you're doing something for a long amount of time, but not too big where, like, the kid's exhausted. So Cougar Mountain Zoo has been a blast. We live up in Kirkland, so all the, like, parks along the water there. Love taking them down there. We want to get up to Seabrook again. That was a blast. We did that once when we were here. There's just a lot to do.
That's
but
fun.
Not too much time, but a lot to do.
The problem is when you get outnumbered. You're outnumbered.
Yeah, we're playing zone defense right now in my household, man. We got 3, so keep at it, man.
Yeah,
keep at it.
We got the second one on the way, and I'm starting to prep the man-to-man defense, but we're not to zone yet.
There we go. I don't know if you've watched the series, but it's the quarterback series on Netflix, right?
Yeah.
And it gives great insight. I don't think people realize how much responsibility is on the quarterback position. I told Stacy, I got an offer to play quarterback at Temple. I said, nah, man, I'm good. I just throw me the ball, let me catch it. I don't want that responsibility. But there's this clip where they break down like what they have to do in 25 seconds and diagnosing all that stuff. And the first thing I thought about was this Mike Macdonald defense and how difficult he can make it on some quarterbacks. What are some of the things that this defense can do to make things difficult on them?
They hold shell really well. You never truly know until the ball's snapped if they're in 2 high or 1 high defense. Perfect blend of we're showing you this pressure here, get us to flip it and bring it the opposite way. And just when you think you got a beat on them, like, all right, yeah, you're showing me I'm not flipping it, they'll actually bring it from that side.
Right.
So the mixtures of pressures mixed with holding shell for a long time, it makes it difficult for us for sure.
Is there someone on the defensive side of the ball where you just kind of notice, and it could be a new guy, it could be a veteran, where you're like, man, this guy's looking pretty solid in camp so far?
Julian's really hard not to point out, man. He's leader back there. When I was here, Kobe Bryant wasn't necessarily playing too much safety. Was in that little nickel spot early in his career. So seeing him transition back there, running around, flying around, filling the box, making hits, it's been impressive to see him in that spot since I didn't get too much look at that when I was here, but it's been cool.
So the last time you were here, you had a reputation, man. They said Drew is a sneaky good athlete. He does everything pretty good. And whenever I hear that, and we've had several conversations with some guys in your squad, I always ask, okay, what's the golf game like this time of year? Because it's almost like a rite of passage for a quarterback too, right? You guys are always good at golf. What is that golf game looking like?
So here's the thing. It's such a wishy-washy sport for me because it's going to be really good or really bad. So I tend to lean on the hey, I don't play a ton, but I'll still come out and play with you, to give me that little, I don't play a lot if I played bad.
Right.
But when I go out there and play really well, they're like, you don't play much? I'm like, yeah, I don't play much. It just kind of happens. So it helps carry the, he's good at the small things.
Right.
But no, it's 85 to 80, somewhere around in there.
Yeah, that's better than 90%, brother.
Realistically, probably like 4 or 5 times in off season I'll play.
Yeah.
And it's really just with my buddies who play all year round. Think they can beat me when I come back because I haven't played, and you just got to put them in their place when you get the chance.
There you go.
You just got to straight up lie. You should just, I haven't played in years.
Yeah.
You should just be
it's
like,
been
honestly.
like 36 months. And I have a kid, guys. Like,
Exactly.
I can go play.
You'd be like, I mean, I guess, like, yeah, I mean, just, I'll be there in 15 and then just, like, absolutely crush. Is there anything you've tried, like, random sports you picked up, so like, you know, golf, paddleboarding, whatever, where you were like, okay, that wasn't for me? Like, that one I couldn't figure out.
So you said it, and I wouldn't have thought of it, but paddleboarding is very hard.
It is.
It is. The first time I tried to do it, I tried to get on the board, like, right by the sand. And my wife looked at me like I was crazy, started laughing. She's from Florida, so she does it. She knows how to do it. And that's the part I think that hurts the worst, is she's good at it. And
There's the pride.
oh my gosh, you found something, honey. That's what I say to her. But
yeah,
paddleboarding, pickleball is fun. I do enjoy a little pickleball. Anything on the water, I would say I'm the fish out of water when it comes to that. So
I'll chalk paddleboarding up to just, it's kind of like Pilates. It's all core. Women just, you know, they excel.
A little taller, lanky. It's kind of hard to be on that board.
Yes, you have a, you know, shorter, what's it called? Gravity, center of gravity.
Center of gravity, yeah.
Crushing it right now.
Last one for me, first preseason game on Thursday. You know, what's the week like, and how do you help the young guys get ready for this preseason game? Me personally, when I was here, I was just fighting for my life. So, you know, the preseason game, I'm like, this is it for me. How are you helping these guys get ready for that?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is, you know, when you flip on the film the day after, did you know your job? Did you know your assignment? Let the athletic ability and let the plays happen. Just talking to Jalen, you know, be perfect with the call sheet. It's his first time really getting in a decently sized NFL call sheet.
Right.
He's asking about defenses and this. I'm like, buddy, know your job first, and then me and you will talk about defenses. Go through that script a ton, and then we can go over what we're expecting, because if you don't know what you're doing out there, who cares what they're playing, right?
Right.
We got to be so dialed in on this call sheet. And I think that's the difference for rookies right now and younger players, is we're still in training camp. Like, the ones are not necessarily prepping for this first preseason game. We have a ton of reps with the ones, but you know, we're trying to sprinkle in some call sheet plays, but we're trying to get installs. We don't get to necessarily practice too much of what you're going to go run on Thursday. There's just a weird balance of prepping for the season and prepping for Thursday.
Again, you've looked phenomenal in camp. We appreciate you being so gracious with your time, too. We're going to stay in segment, but you have to get going. And you have a very busy day. Still a lot of practice ahead. Drew, Locke, thank you so much for taking the time, man. We appreciate it.
Appreciate you, man.
This is fun.
Our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Before we get to headline rewrites, Bump, I thought it was really interesting that that Drew was talking about, you know, some of the tasks that Jalen is going to have ahead of him for this third preseason game. And one thing that I didn't have enough time to ask Drew, because we got to get him out of here, is just kind of like the goal of a preseason game that he mentioned, you know, the ones aren't necessarily preparing for that. He's right. Like, it's a bit different clearly than actually playing, but I'm like, let's revisit kind of like the task, the point, the plan. Like, what's the kind of plan for the preseason? It's players approaching it very differently.
Yeah, it's not about understanding exactly how the Raiders are going to attack you, because no one is game planning for each other. You're taking the install and you're making sure, just like you said, you know your job and your responsibilities. You'll figure out the defense later. Right, you'll look at the safety, see if it's a one high or a two high shell, if they're bringing pressure or not. But if you don't know what your assignment is, it don't matter what they're doing. Your job is to show that, especially as a quarterback, you can keep the process going, get in and out the huddle smoothly, get to the line of scrimmage, get your checks, move your guys if you have to move them, there's motion or whatnot. Just show that you understand the process of getting in and out and running plays, and then it's about executing. So with the first preseason game, too, there's going to be grace for Milroe. Now, everyone should have grace for Milroe, even for Drew, right? Because he doesn't come out here and get the bulk of the reps. The ones get the bulk of the reps. So it's about the process at the quarterback spot and at any other spot. Just be assignment friendly, know the process, get in and out the huddle, make it look smooth out there.
I know that maybe it sounded like I was just brown-nosing. But, like, I can't stress enough, you guys, that Drew really does. He has so much zip on the ball. The mechanics look really solid. And I remember covering that training camp where it was him and Gino kind of competing for that starting role. And everyone really entered camp going, it feels like this is Gino's job to lose. He's working with the ones. I'm seeing two different Drews. The Drew this time around, I know he mentioned, like, it just comes with confidence, but it feels like it's come with, like, polishing footwork and you can tell so much work has been put in outside of just the mentality.
I mean, it's 7 years in the game.
Yeah.
He understands
He looks great.
What training camp is about. He understands his personal process too. Everyone has their own way of doing things. Like you and I'm sure you have your way of prepping for a show. I have my way of prepping for a show, but we both get here and we're ready to go. So I think that's a lot of what training camp is too, is you're figuring out what your mind, your body needs to prepare for the grind of training camp. And now you're teaching yourself how to prepare for a game, even though it's not a game that you're technically scheming the other team for. It's just part of the process of becoming a professional and knowing what you need to do to survive in this league. And the coaches, too, they're learning, all right, how do I get my players ready for a Thursday night game, a Saturday game, or Friday next week? It's that's all it is, man. It's processing the process and processing information.
All right, again, our coverage of Seahawks training camp brought to you by The Landing in Renton. Let's get to headline rewrites.
Extra, read all about it.
Headline rewrites.
We must make headlines.
The real story behind the headlines in today's news with Bump and Stacy.
Headline number one, the Mariners start the first of 9 straight games against non-playoff teams with 3 against the White Sox tonight. What's the real headline?
The ultimate don't play down to the competition challenge begins tonight.
And you know what? I don't think they will. But we also know that baseball is just a funny sport. Who beat the Yankees or somebody? Well, Rockies beat somebody they weren't supposed to beat. I mean, they're not going
the
0
Marlins
for 162.
swept the Yankees for the first time, and I don't know when.
That's for sure. But that's an example, right?
Yeah.
The Rockies are the worst team in baseball, but they're not going 0 and 162. So there are going to be games where teams sneak up on you and they beat you. You're not having a great day. But the optics is important to me. Right, if the White Sox are going to beat you, the pitcher is going to have to be dealing and hitting all of his spots. Their bats are going to have to be hot. There's a way that you lose to this team. You don't accept it, but you understand that sometimes teams are just hot. I would love for Game 1 just to be in the Mariners' favor and for them to establish themselves. And I would hope that they have this newfound confidence when it comes to who they are, because they are a different team. Expectations are different. For us, it should be for them, too.
See, that's you being a rational baseball mind. I will accept no fewer than 6 runs per game.
Six of them things.
I mean, it's got to be minimum 5 runs per game, ideally 11. I don't think that's asking for too much. No, I do feel, though, optimistic about the stretch that they could go on here. And Curtis, who was you mentioned that they've got a stretch of like some solid opportunities and then a tough stretch. Who was the upcoming opponent?
Yeah, so the Mariners they've got the White Sox, Rays, and Orioles coming up over their next 9, but then right after that, at the Mets, tough team, and then at the Phillies, another tough team. So
Schwarber's going to have 47 home runs by then, probably.
Good thing, though, is that Philadelphia's kind of a launching pad, so hopefully the Mariners' offense can keep up with them, but they're a really good team.
Next up.
Headline rewrites.
Headline 2, the Yankees lost to the Rangers last night on a walk-off home run, but they're expected to activate Aaron Judge off the IL today. What's the real headline?
I do apologize. Hopefully the Mariners can pass the Yankees in the wild card standings, because Cal didn't pass Judge in the MVP race.
Hey, don't be sorry.
I believe in you,
You're just
Cal.
spitting facts.
I believe in you, Cal.
It's just what it is. Can he still do it? He have to go crazy, and Judge would have to slump a little bit. It is possible, but that's absolutely right. The Yankees went and called for help. They got beat up at the playground, and they went back home and called for the bigger brother, Aaron Judge, and said, okay, you ready to go? Well, let's go get it. But look, the Mariners are in a great position. You still got to fight off with the Red Sox, the Yankees, the Rangers as well. But that's all you want at this moment, right? At this part of the season, you're in the fight and you're favored to win the fight. And that's a position that these guys haven't been in a while. So keep taking care of business. Cal will get going again, and then hopefully there'll be contributions all through the lineup.
Headline rewrites.
Headline number 3, Ken Walker missed practice for the 3rd straight day yesterday for what Mike McDonald called foot soreness. What's the real headline?
You got to be able to walk before you can establish the run.
Yeah, this is it's far too common when it comes to Ken Walker. It's stuff that's completely out of his control. But when you have a history of not being able to practice during training camp, you get a bit nervous, and that's why you look at Zach Charbonnet and you make sure he's ready. He's ready to go, and of course he's ready. We heard Kubiak speak about his intelligence, his availability, and there are high expectations for him. I would prefer to have Ken Walker in as your RB1, him healthy, getting the bulk of the snaps, but I'm also not too concerned if he has to kind of take a step back a little bit and slowly get back into it, because I believe in Zach Charbonnet. He's not the flashiest runner with the football. He's downhill. He's straight to the point. He's good catching the rock out the backfield. He is solid in this league. He has shown that he can handle being the number 1 guy. So, yeah, it's unfortunate to hear about Ken Walker, but when you have a backup like Zach Charbonnet who's shown that he can play in this league, you're not panicking.
I do want to add one thing about injuries, particularly to this position group. I saw someone earlier when we talked about the injury say, why does it feel like the Seahawks running backs just can't stay healthy? And while I understand the frustration, given that Seattle's identity is supposed to be running the ball and they just have not been able to have a ton of luck there, running backs are rarely fully healthy for a full season. I don't know, outside of 2017, where just for the life of you, you could not keep a running back healthy and you could not get the run going with any one particular guy. I don't think the Seahawks have run into horrible luck compared to other teams. I think it's rare that you see a guy play all 16 and now all 17 games, especially as a primary back.
Yeah, no, I think that's it right there. I've mentioned this stat before, like a number 1 running back is going to touch the ball 300 times minimum when it comes to running the rock. Then you factor in pass pro, having to pick a blitz. Then you factor in the receptions. I believe K9 had like 50 receptions last year. Like it's a lot to ask for a running back to stay healthy through 17. I think people look at guys like Derrick Henry and say, well, how is he able to? That man is different.
No one else.
He's a big boy. He is just different. His body is different, and he's gotten lucky too. Luck plays a big part of this, and that's essentially why I believe that every team will go into a solid 2-back type of deal where it's 60-40 splitting the carries, because you want to have these guys as long as possible, just the nature of the beast.
Yeah, I was looking at the running back stats from last year. I mean, Saquon Barkley, obviously he was held out of that 17th game, but Derrick Henry, Bijan Robinson appeared in 17 games. Jahmyr Gibbs appeared in 17. You had Josh Jacobs appearing in 17, but there are many guys that's like 16, 15, 14, 13. And again, yes, health is still a talking point when it comes to Ken Walker, a very fair one, because it's one thing to, oh, he appeared in 16 and not 17 games. It's another to say, oh, he appeared in 11, or he could get to 12, or he maybe he pushed for like 13. Like, you still want to see more of him. I don't know. Do you look at the offensive line and think that's part of it, or do you just think that it just is what it is?
They contribute. I mean, if you could double team the 1 tech and keep him off of K9, that'd be great. But that doesn't happen all the time. I mean, guys win and lose battles all the time. Whenever you are getting the football, the bulk of the time, this is a contact sport. The chances of you getting injured are just significantly more better. So, you know, it is what it is. But listen, we got a backup running back who's ready to go. I'm still hoping K9 can stay healthy as long as possible.
Let's see what's on tonight.
What's on tonight with Bump and Stacy, brought to you by Caesars Sportsbook at Muckleshoot. Now, here's what's on tonight.
The Mariners are on tonight. They open a 3-game series against the White Sox. Pregame starts at 5:30 p.m. First pitch at 6:40 right here on Seattle Sports. Taking a look around the NFL next. Don't go anywhere.
Wyman and Bob, afternoons 2 to 7.
I was always a guy that, like, if I could get an interception, man.
How many did you have in your career?
3.
How many should you have had? If you, as you put it, if you didn't have frying pan hands.
Yeah, I would say probably double that. When I was in high school, I played in a state championship game. I had 2 interceptions in one game, and I was like, that was my favorite game. I just loved that.
Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton, afternoons 2 to 7 on Seattle Sports, the app, YouTube, and your smart speaker.
I have a handful of stories that really affected me personally in my career and how I handle employees. Lee Johnson, coming out of his office as a customer, asked me where the service department is. I was like, yeah, go to the end of the hall, go up the stairs, go across the breezeway, open a door, go to the left, you want Chevy, go to the right, you want Mazda, because I didn't even have enough time to say, hey, what kind of car do you have? Here comes Lee, and it's like, oh, man, come with me, let me show you. and then having to come back and not dress me down is just almost like with that fatherly disappointment of like, that's not how we take care of people. I mean, the right way is to walk her down to the stairs, walk her up the stairs, open the door for her, go over, cross the way, open up that door, introduce her to somebody. So she's comfortable, she's made it to the right place, and that we value the business. What you did was you made it seem like she was an inconvenience to you. Customers are the purpose of our day.
The LJ way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
Need a new roof now? With State Roofing and Exteriors, you can get started with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for up to 24 months. That's right. Protect your home now and pay later. Call 866-ROOF-ROOF or visit stateroofing.com today.
This is Steve Ahmed, president of Pacific Power Batteries. We know that customers like to buy from nice people, people who we generally like and trust. We don't consciously buy from a corporation, a jingle, or a logo. But it's the little things, like knowing about batteries, how they work, and why they don't work. Maybe it's just a smile from Noe, or Brandon, or Jennifer, or even Travis. Ha! At Pacific Power Batteries, we do our best to hire and train good people so you can trust them. So come on in and put us to the test.
Do you find yourself searching the medicine cabinet for pills and sprays during allergy season? How about having to buy one more medication when the season hits? I'm Dr. Ryan Stern with the Stern Sinus Center. We offer a solution that will save you time, money, and frustration. Rynair is a simple, minimally invasive procedure that significantly reduces postnasal drip and stuffiness. We're taking new patients in Federal Way and in Auburn. Come see us. Book your appointment at sternsinus.com.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Oh no, stomach issues again?
Stomach issues?
Who are you?
Your pancreas. I could be the real reason for your diarrhea, gas, bloating, stomach pain, or loose oily stools.
I thought it was my stomach.
People often do, but any of these symptoms could mean having a condition called exocrine pancreatic insufficiency, or EPI. With EPI, the pancreas doesn't release enough enzymes to break down food, but EPI is manageable. Use the symptom checker on identifyepi.com and speak with your doctor. That's identifyepi.com. Sponsored by AbbVie.
Ready to elevate your everyday? Quince has the Luxe Staples Insider Swear By, minus the markup. From 100% European linen styles and 14-karat gold jewelry to gorgeous leather bags and elevated home finds, Quince has it all. And by partnering directly with top artisans and ethical factories, Quince delivers premium quality at half the cost of similar brands. Discover everyday luxury without the markup at Quince. Go to quince.com/style upgrade for free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/style upgrade.
The Bump and Stacy Show is powered in part each day by the caring and compassionate team at Pendergast Law Personal Injury Lawyers. Go to pendergastlaw.com.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Dave Wyman joined by Dr. Daniel Landis from Swedish CyberKnife. Dr. Landis, when treating prostate cancer, what can patients expect during CyberKnife treatment?
So the CyberKnife treatment's an outpatient procedure. Essentially, it's a 5-day treatment, about 30 minutes per day. You walk in, you walk out, you essentially don't feel anything at all during treatment. Many patients still work full-time while they're having treatment.
That's incredible. Treat prostate cancer with Swedish CyberKnife. Swedish.org/CyberKnife prostate.
Seattle home prices, well, they just keep going up, and you might be ready to take advantage. If you're getting ready to sell or just moved into a new home, now is the time to get a thorough inspection of your crawl space and attic. And don't do it yourself. You don't want to be crawling around in there. You probably don't even really know what to look for. It's Mike Salk here, and Crawl Pros will go where you don't want to, so you can know if there's anything going on in your crawl space or attic attic without having to crawl into and evaluate those spaces on your own. A free inspection will let you know if your home is energy efficient and if the air you're breathing is clean and safe. Plus, there are some really great utility rebates available right now to help you with the cost of the new installation if it's needed. How nice would it be to get someone else to cover that cost? Had them out to my house, and it was a great idea. Did that free corner-to-corner inspection, found some issues. They took the pictures, showed them to me, and then solved the problem. No issues since. If you're worried about critters, mold, water damage, insulation issues, or anything else related to your crawl space or attic, call Crawl Pros or visit crawlpros.com.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio,
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
Let's figure out where things stand on Terry McLaurin's holdout. Cut 9. Here's the Athletics' Diana Rossini.
From what I can gather, nothing has changed significantly yet. Okay, so I know there's some talk out there that McLaurin is looking for that identical contract of DK Metcalf. I heard there's parts of that contract that he's looking for, but it doesn't necessarily mean that's the exact APY, right? Because the thing that's holding Washington back from jumping in, despite the fact that they love Terry. I mean, Dan Quinn has been phenomenal in speaking about his player, like, we love you, like, we got to do this. I think they're at a point right now where Washington's saying, for us, you're turning 30 years old on September 15th, right? That's in just a few months here, to give you a contract that is relative to the receivers that we're seeing get paid who are younger just doesn't make sense.
What kind of solution would make sense for Washington? Because I can understand the idea of, well, sure, DK Metcalf got this contract and you're looking at that number, but DK Metcalf's about 3 years younger than you. So is it giving a huge signing bonus with a short-term contract? Is it not paying him at all? I mean, what do you do if you're Washington there?
It's all about fully guaranteed money. So that signing bonus would be great, or maybe you fully guarantee that first year. You throw some options in for year 2 or 3. I get where Washington is coming from as far as wanting to protect themselves because he is 30 years of age, but you also should pay the man for his services and what he's done. And he's showing no signs of slowing down. It's not like he had a sorry season last year and couldn't get open and wasn't catching the football and wasn't getting behind defenses. I can see if he were took a step back, but I just didn't see that. So what do? He wants as much guaranteed money as possible. What does that look like? I don't know. But I understand where Washington is coming from. It's just that you should have known this was coming. Like, why is this taking so long? Him and who's the owner over there with the Commanders?
I don't even know anymore. Curtis, do you know? Is it I keep thinking of the family that owns the Broncos. It is not them.
Anyway, whatever ownership group.
Harris, Josh Harris, I think is his name.
I think you're right, yeah. Harris and Jerry been kicking it. And they need to separate. You know when those kids at the front of the class or in the classroom are sitting next together causing all this trouble? You got to separate them. That's what we're doing then. Harris, you're over there. Jerry, you're over there. Separate them.
Stop. One of you needs to pay your players.
For real.
Yeah, I guess I look at Washington and I just go, it's not necessarily... it's not that they're in a win-now place because Jaden Daniels is in his second season. You know what I mean? He's in his rookie deal. You're going to want to eventually get younger in areas of your defense. You're going to want to build up your offensive line. There are areas that are still kind of under construction or, cheaper and younger for Washington. However, given that the bar was set last year as, oh my God, we're in the NFC conference game or championship game. We're playing against the Eagles. Like, the bar for people when they look at your team is going to be that you be very, very competitive, that you be a really good playoff team. And I don't see them being that team without Terry. So I agree with you. It's like, you need Terry for this year. You need Terry for next year, probably. I understand where they're coming from in terms of, do we want to be paying Terry McLaurin in 2029? I don't know.
You got expectations now. And without Terry, you don't have those same expectations.
Yeah.
Simple.
The Browns don't need another quarterback, right? Wrong. They've signed Tyler Huntley as their fifth active quarterback in camp, the 6th on their roster. Shedeur Sanders is dealing with some arm soreness. Gabriel and Pickett also have some health issues. So presumably Tyler Huntley is going to be there taking the bulk of snaps through preseason games, certainly this week. And then we'll see for how much longer he's actually on the roster. But You'd think one of these guys would be healthy.
This is a camp move, right? You need arms to go through a practice. You need guys to be able to run with the 3s and the 4s and do all the drills or whatnot. So that's why the Browns brought him in. For Huntley, it's another opportunity to show the NFL, I can still play in this league. So you go out to your preseason games, you treat them as regular season games, you show that you can operate an offense, and maybe you get a call when it's all said and done to go somewhere and be a backup. That's all this is. Nothing more, nothing less.
The Rams are extending running back Kyren Williams on a 3-year, $33 million deal with $23 million guaranteed. Kyren was going to be earning about $5 million a year, $5.3 million under his current rookie contract, which obviously is null because he's got that extension. You had been talking about Kyren deserving that extension previously.
Yeah, he's one of the best running backs in the game. And I cautioned him. I'm sure he listens. And I told him, look, don't go to camp. You can be there, but don't run, don't do anything, because one wrong cut and you're banged up, you don't get that money. But they operated in good faith. He showed up and the Rams took care of him. I knew that they would, but he just went through about 8 to 10 practices where something could have happened. So I wouldn't call it the smartest move in the world, but it did show the Rams that he's committed to the process, and maybe that gave him a few more millions when it comes to that guarantee.
Do you think that Kyren walked into Les Snead's office with the Bump and Stacy podcast up on his phone to that day and just pressed play and was like, you see this? You see this? I could get hurt any minute. I'm valuable. I'm one of the best running backs.
He held it right in front of him with his arms straight and didn't say anything and said, listen.
Do you think he left us 5 stars?
No.
Why?
I don't think he did.
What?
It's a process for him. He had things to do.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez. Titans head coach Brian Callahan, compared Cam Ward to another quarterback he's coached, Joe Burrow, cut 10.
I grew with Joe for 4 years, and he became the player that he is now, which is, arguably one of the top 3 quarterbacks in football. But he wasn't that as a rookie, and it was good to reflect back and watch and listen and see the things that he struggled with as a young player, things that didn't make sense to him, things that took a little bit more time to understand, what part of the offense was challenging for him. All that stuff has factored into how I've gone about the process with Cam. And my favorite part about it is I see some similarities in their ability to process information, and so it's been fun to sort of compare and contrast where those guys have felt really comfortable and then where maybe they have some things that aren't quite as easy for them as you would want it to be to start. It's been a cool process for me in general, just to be able to reflect back on that and then see where Cam's at now. I think it's going to be fun to compare as we keep going.
Both Cam and Joe, first overall picks in their respective classes. Do you see other similarities there between the two?
I don't know. I ain't seen him play yet. I've never spoken to Joe. I've spoken to Cam several times. I don't know. I mean, look, your job as a head coach, as a GM, as an owner, when you have the #1 pick in the draft, is to gas your quarterback up. Hold him accountable, teach him how to be a pro. But confidence is key in this league, and we know Cam is not lacking confidence at all, and it's partly because of his preparation and what he's done over his college career. But I don't know, man. Joe Burrow, that's tough. That's tough. The Titans aren't going to be good this year, Stacy.
Do you think that Cam didn't receive as much acclaim as former #1 overall picks because it was a weak quarterback class where Shedeur Sanders was drawing a ton of spotlight? Or do you think that there are weaknesses with Cam's game that just haven't drawn as much acclaim as have previous top picks?
Listen, Joe Burrow might have quarterbacked the greatest college football team of all time. He's down there at LSU, won a national championship, high-profile type of dude, started at Ohio State. His path was a bit different for Cam Ward. Cam starting at Carnet Ward, going to Washington State, then Miami. It took a while for people to kind of buy into what he was doing because of his previous stops. Towards Joe Burrow, from jump, people believed in what he was doing. I think Cam is maybe just as mobile as Joe Burrow. I think he can make every throw that Joe Burrow can. But can he go through the schedule, the day in, day out of being an NFL quarterback? We'll see. Because no one thought, when Joe Burrow got into the league, of course, there's a bunch of potential, but you don't know until that quarterback actually goes through all the things that Joe Burrow went through.
Yeah.
So I can't compare the two. I just know that Joe Burrow's had high profile for a long time.
Last one quickly. Matthew Stafford still isn't practicing with the Rams due to his back injury and cut 11. ESPN's Jeff Darlington talks about when we can expect to see him back.
The best thing I can tell you is not immediately, and probably not the update that Rams fans want right now, but Sean McVay did make it clear that Matt Stafford remains week to week. He is not expected to participate in that joint practice. In fact, when he's practicing with the Rams, he's off on his own, doing his own workout not within the team drills. Of course, this is disconcerting because of the history with back and neck situations involving Matthew Stafford. Right now, the team trying to evoke some confidence to say this is still general soreness. We're going to try to make sure that we're just playing this right early in training camp. But I will say, every single day closer to the season where we don't have a more definitive, clear update, it's certainly a little bit disconcerting.
Bump, this has to be one of the injuries you are watching most closely as we inch towards week 1.
Yeah, I said it before. This injury will determine how the NFC West ends up. If there's no Matthew Stafford, this thing is wide open. If there's a healthy Matthew Stafford through 90% of the season, the Rams should take this division. This is big. He's getting older, 36, 37 years of age, and you got to be careful with him. He's also not a quarterback that needs to be in these drills, that needs these reps with the ones. It'd be nice for him to hook up with Devontae Adams and develop some chemistry, but he's a pro's pro. So if he's healthy, they'll be fine. If not, the NFC West is wide open.
All right, get your questions in for What I Need to Know, 866-979-3776. Coming your way next.
Seahawks training camp is underway.
That is music to the ears.
And nobody gives you more insider access than the home of the Seahawks, Seattle Sports.
Coach McDonald sitting down with us right now. This thing on and ready for you.
Watch how the Seahawks roster comes together.
Seattle Sports training camp coverage is presented by the Landing in Renton.
Seahawks training camp on Seattle Sports on 710, the Seattle Sports app, and the Seattle Sports YouTube page.
Hey, it's Mike Salk here, and we've been talking about this. Luxury awaits at Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel. You can book now for an unforgettable summer experience because the hotel opens up August 8th. Bookings are open at snocasino.com starting on August 8th. The expanded non-gaming floor, the destination spa, the big new entertainment space and convention center, new restaurants as well. They're combining effortless style with the utmost in relaxation. Go to snocasino.com for details. Seattle's closest, now Snoqualmie Casino and Hotel.
Hey friends, Stacy here to tell you that Wayscar Ford Isuzu in Auburn is celebrating its 103rd year anniversary, and their biggest sales event of the year is going on right now. Take advantage of great pricing on new Fords, Isuzus, and commercial vehicles, plus huge discounts in their service and parts departments. What about those of you who want to sell a car? I also have good news. Wayscar Ford's vehicle profit sharing plan is the best deal out there. They purchase your car and pay you up front. Then when they resell your old car, they share 50% of the profit with you. They've already paid back over $800,000 to customers. At Wayscar Ford, there are absolutely no games, no gimmicks, and no pressure. And that's backed up by a full 5-day or 500-mile, no questions asked return policy on absolutely every vehicle they sell. Change your mind for any reason. Bring the vehicle back for a full 100% refund. If you're like me, you want a good price, a low-key, no-pressure sales experience, and a full 5-day, 100% satisfaction guarantee. So go to Wayscar Ford in Auburn. Check them out for yourself at wayscarford.com.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
You're still glowing, flirting, grooving. You've still got it. But your immune system weakens as you age, making it harder to fight flu, pneumococcal pneumonia, RSV, and COVID-19. Vaccines are a key part of any health routine and help strengthen your immune response. Ask your doctor or pharmacist which vaccines you need. Schedule in minutes at vaxassist.com. Sponsored by Pfizer.
I just saw 2 houses for sale. Same neighborhood, almost identical, but one had an Orchard sign and it sold for way more. So I asked my friends at Orchard, why? The first house used a traditional agent. After weeks of price drops and frustration, they settled for less than they'd hoped for. The second homeowner chose Orchard and got more. Their local Orchard agent didn't just list a home, they marketed it. They knew exactly which upgrades would attract serious buyers and brought in a pro to handle everything. And even more, with Orchard's Move First, Sell Later program, the homeowner moved into their new home before their old one even hit the market. They skipped all the hassles and showings. Never settle for less. Get more with Orchard, the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to buy your new home, even before your old home sells. Start with Orchard's free home valuation at Orchard.com. That's Orchard.com. Orchard.com.
The home of the Mariners.
Left off to center. It is on its way. Julio, 2-run home run.
Hear every pitch on 710 and the Seattle Sports app.
This is for all you guys on Viagra. ED pills are no longer needed. The brutal side effects like 4-hour headaches, blurred vision, and that flush feeling can all be put behind you with our treatment. Here at West Coast Men's Health, we have a better approach to ED. Acoustic wave therapy creates blood flow circulation by safely removing the plaque in your arteries and restoring function naturally. Guys, let me be clear. Pills will never fix your problem. Our equipment is the latest technology, and our medical staff is the best in the industry. So give West Coast Men's Health a call today. Speak with our clinic manager. Ask him any question you like, how it works, the science behind it, and even the cost. If you suffer from ED or Peyronie's disease, give West Coast Men's Health a call today. It's not just about better health, it's about a better life.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
Comcast Business High Five Hotline. What's the state of your excitement?
I signed my business up for the 5-year price lock guarantee, and I can't stop high-fiving people. High five!
Okay, deep breath.
High five.
You're in a good place. You signed your business up for 5 years of gig speed internet and advanced security, all on our ultra-reliable network.
Gig speeds and advanced security? I'm so stoked.
Yep, and you get it at a great rate that's locked in for 5 years.
Woo!
The high five is just your body's way of saying, I'm winning.
So this is natural.
High-fiving everyone you see in a state of business savings enthusiasm, totally natural.
Sweet! Thank you! Thank you! High five, everybody! High five!
The Comcast Business 5-year price lock guarantee is back, but only for a limited time, so sign your business up today.
High five!
Comcast Business, powering possibilities.
Ends 9/21/25 for new customers with qualifying bundle. Current customers may be eligible depending on services and area. Guaranteed rate applies to monthly service charge, excluding taxes and fees. Other restrictions apply.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio.
This is Bumpin' Stacy.
Weekdays 10 to 2.
On Seattle Sports and 97.3 FM HD2.
What I need to know a little early today, given the dugout, all Mariners is coming your way at 1. So get your questions in, 866-979-3776. What I need to know. What does Mike McDonald's catchphrase, chasing edges, mean to you?
It means chasing edges, like you're trying to find the advantage, right? We're chasing the advantage. And I know that, and he's using multiple ways too. Like on defense, you're chasing the edge because you want to set the edge and force everything back inside. But how do you get an edge on the competition? How do you get the advantage? That's what you're doing. That's what you're chasing every single day out here in practice.
Yeah, I think it's another flavor of like always compete in the mindset that every great head coach is going to need, which is we are in the constant pursuit of perfection. And I found it really insightful that in his interview with Brock and Salk, he talked about having his own meetings with players filmed and then evaluated by like Stephen Hauschka and another former team psychologist to be like, tell me where I can be a better leader. And that's an example also to me of chasing edges.
Here's my question.
You know, always trying to be better.
Respect. Hauschka played in the league a long time. Why are you going to a kicker for their opinion on a meeting?
Because he played in the league a long time.
They don't have meetings.
He played in the league. You and Dave
They don't
Wyman,
have meetings. They sit here and kick the ball back and forth to each other. You're going to a special teams meeting for about 10 minutes, and you're freaking done with the day.
You and Dave Wyman.
I respect Mike McDonald. There's a method to his madness. I'm sure he trusts this guy outside looking in. Why are you going to a kicker, man? You know who's in town? Cliff Averill's in town. You got Cam in town. You got Sherm who's in town.
That's right.
I would go to those dudes. But hey, big up Hauschka, man. Hey, no disrespect.
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Can I just say something? I think you and Wyman have a lot of hate of specialists. And I think that sometimes when we hate something, we need to turn inward and figure out if we hate ourselves.
I don't hate. I used to kick in high school. I don't hate them. I just know that when it comes to the
you don't even have anything to say
They
anymore.
don't do anything.
I knew that you were going to say that. You were like, how do I politely say that they're not important?
They are important, but they don't do anything.
They score the most points on the team every single year.
Hey,
score the most points on the team.
Sit here and tell me about myself.
But when you think about it, counterpoint, when you think about it, a kicker and oftentimes a punter as well has usually seen multiple head coaches. They've usually been in the league for like 20 years.
In a position meeting, and then have you went to offensive meeting, and then have you practiced and went back and watched the practice and broke everything down? No, but McDonald respects him, so I'm going to give him the respect he deserves, but I'm still asking why.
866-979-3776. Interpret this question, however. This is just all they said. Do you think the receivers on the Seahawks team are good enough to compete?
Yes. Jason, I think is more than capable in being a number one receiver. Obviously, Cooper Kupp is a dog out there. He looks great. MVS is, like I call him, he's going to be the sniper out there. He's going to hit you from deep. You're not even going to know it. Boom, he's going to get you. Yes, they're more than better enough than to compete.
Oh, what's this? 206 says, well, his mentor, John Harbaugh, was a special teams coach.
Good for him. That's good for him. Good for him.
I think you and Wyman need to really, I want you guys to
guarantee
sit
you,
down.
Harbaugh played a different position. He coached different positions. Hauschka just kicked the ball for a living. Respect Hauschka, all right? But I'm confused. There's other resources out there.
What I need to know, of the 7-10 shows between morning, midday, and afternoon, which show wins three things? Tug of War, a Power 3 course, and Checkers.
A Power 3 course?
What's a Power 3 course?
No
Is it
idea.
a par 3 course?
A par 3
par
course. Oh, maybe
3.
they're talk to text.
Oh, okay. Par 3 course. I think we have a shot because I'm hitting the green every time.
And I'm driving the golf cart.
Salt can play. Salt's going to hit the green, too. The afternoon show has no chance in the par 3.
No, I think it's between you and Brock and Salt.
Okay. When it comes to, what was the other one? Chess?
Checkers.
Checkers?
Oh, I've been playing checkers since I was a child.
Who plays checkers?
I do. It's checkers, not chess. That's for life. Just simplify things. Tone it down. You know what I mean? Turn down the volume.
Checkers is a toss-up. Anybody can get that one.
No, it's absolutely not. There's a strategy to it. You ever triple jumped someone in checkers?
I have quadruple jumps.
I didn't think so.
What was the other one?
There's strategy.
Tug of War.
I wowe go Wyman and Bob.
Man. We got.
No, I think that's.
No, I don't know.
You don't think that's Wyman?
Listen,
That's Wyman.
We have our own version of Big Dumper on our show. All right, if we're throwing, Curtis Rogers is our dumper.
Now we're adding producers into this.
Hey, anchor that thing down, Curtis. All right,
so it's just
I'll be in the
and
front.
Curtis.
Even with me in a tug of war.
I'm going to be hanging on to the middle, like when there's tug of war and they have the little ribbon in the middle of the rope that's showing which side it's going over.
Hey, no Curtis, we stand no chance.
I think even with me, Wyman and Bob still have a really good
I think
shot.
Wyman and Bob are crushing the tug of war.
You hear Wyman on those knee replacement commercials? His knees are bad.
No, Wyman, there's a linebacker strength that doesn't go away. He's got dad strength. He's got linebacker strength. I think Wyman could kill a man today.
I think so.
With his bare hands. I think Wyman would have the best chance of all of us against a bear, and then Bob.
No one has a chance against a bear, Stacy.
I think Wyman and Bob could beat a bear. A small bear. A black bear, or maybe like a baby grizzly. Definitely not a polar bear. A polar bear, we're all dead.
Yeah, polar bears are crazy.
Let's see. It's just everyone saying, wow, Bump hates Hauschka. That's crazy.
I don't hate him.
Someone said Hauschka has a bachelor's degree in neuroscience and a master's in health and human performance and studied sports management.
That's what's up.
Is that Stephen Hauschka texting in? Like, how do you know that much about him?
That's crazy. What are you talking about?
Hey, how many defenses has he prepared for? How's he out scheme? Listen, I don't hate Hauschka, okay? I don't.
I think you do.
He's a better football player than I was in the NFL, okay? Way better football player.
Next question, not counting Stephen Hauschka, who is your favorite movie villain?
It's always going to be the Joker, man. Heath Ledger killed that.
Good movie villains. God, I bet Matt can name a million from superhero movies. Thanos, I guess he's like a movie villain who's kind of like, people try to understand the complexities of him, where they're like, he's not a flat movie villain, you know? And, also a father. Yeah, I don't know. There's got to be Darth Vader. Anthony Hopkins has played some really, really good movie villains in many different movies. He's like a good movie villain actor. Let's see if we've got time for one more. 866-979-3776. What I need to know. It's just people are really taking it. The people really think that you hate
No,
Hauschka.
I don't hate Hauschka. No.
Why is the freeway always packed at 11 a.m.? I don't know.
Because
everyone's late to work
the
like you.
infrastructure of the roads here, they didn't plan on expansion, and they didn't think this through. I blame the first person to put a freeway in Washington.
Someone said Gary Oldman in The Professional.
Okay.
Okay. Let's see. Someone is asking Carol's reception. I think they mean like what you think Carol's reception will be.
Oh, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are going to love him. You better love him, man. Don't boo that, man. Don't you do it.
They're not going to play in the regular season, so I would think that the Seahawks have some kind of special video, you know? I would think the Seahawks have planned something, too.
I hope so. Let's ask. I'm sure someone here can tell us.
Yeah. All right, you guys. We are going to go all Mariners 1-2 for the dugout. Rick Rizzs is going to join us, followed by Mariners insider Shannon Drayer. Don't go anywhere.
Blue 88, every day at 7:45 on Brock and Salk.
What are you hearing with these young Seahawks?
Yeah, the words I continue to hear, betting on themselves. They're betting on themselves because these college kids are coming into the league with millions, But if you're Kobe Bryant, are you going to say, hey, man, on this defense, I'm going to be a great player. And I'm going to go to the market, and I'm going to have 31 other teams bidding for me rather than taking it now.
Blue 88 on Seattle Sports. Get the podcast on the Seattle Sports app.
Why is Mazda of Everett the #1 dealer on the West Coast? Mazda of Everett is locally owned and operated for 20 years. They work hard to get you their best deal every time and to make sure you drive away happy. With over 700 new Mazdas, they stock more than anyone in the Seattle area. Find out for yourself why people keep coming back to Mazda of Everett. Take advantage of the Mazda of Everett price during the More to Move You sales event. MazdaofEverett.com. Claims based on Mazda USA inventory and sales reports.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details. You can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at PCFgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
What is that sound? Ugh, that sounds like a plumbing sound. Luckily, there's a company that fixes all the plumbing sounds across Puget Sound. That's All Sound Plumbing. Puget Sound's plumbing experts. Have a sound? Visit allsoundplumbing.com.
New Harley-Davidson street glides under $265 a month at Jet City Harley. Try now for under $265 a month on a new street glide at Jet City Harley-Davidson.
Payments based on street glide model and base color with 30% down, 96-month term, 6.99% APR with approved credit. Doesn't include freight, setup, tax, title, and license fees. See dealer for details.
Hey, it's Dr. Coogan from Eastside Weight Loss Clinic. We've been fortunate to work with over 4,000 local people and help them hit some pretty amazing weight loss goals. I'm joined by two of them right now, Mike Salk and Ryan Rowland-Smith. Mike, you were able to lose about a pound per day for over a month, 35 pounds in total.
Well, as much as I'd love to take all the credit, really, I was just following the plan. Eastside Weight Loss Clinic made it super easy, and there really was no part I struggled with. I was eating delicious, fresh food, all while losing weight. The accountability from your team was great. It just helped me keep the focus. I felt catered to the entire way, and I think Ryan really had a similar experience.
No doubt about it. I just finished up the program, and I can't believe how well it worked. I wish I would have started sooner. Talk about motivation. So, thanks for the recommendation.
No surgery, no exercise, no packaged meals, no drugs or injections. Just delicious food and a plan that works. Schedule a free 15-minute consultation today at eastsideweightlossclinic.com.
Dr. Ryan Coogan, D.C. Results may vary.
This is the story of the one. As a safety manager at a manufacturing plant, he does everything he can to keep his coworkers safe. From finding ways to reduce risks to keeping safety supplies in stock. And for that, he relies on Grainger. Grainger offers a broad range of quality products and next-day delivery, so he can always play it safe. Call 1-800-GRAINGER, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Lowe's knows when you're looking for reliability, the right brand makes all the difference. And now,
Lowe's is the exclusive home improvement retailer for the Whirlpool water treatment line, including their Wi-Fi softener, under-sink filtration system, and more. With Whirlpool's proven performance and our everyday low prices, better tasting, better quality water is within reach. Shop pro-trusted brands like Whirlpool and more, in-store or online. Lowe's, we help, you save.
It's back to school time again, and parents are pretty stressed out.
Can you blame us? The supply list, the sign-ups, the scheduling.
At least haircuts are easy at Great Clips.
It's true. With the Great Clips app, I checked him in before we left home, so we were in and out in no time.
I got a great haircut, and Mom got to check something off the to-do list. She really loves that.
Back to school can be a lot, but haircuts are easy at Great Clips. Download the app today.
Great Clips. It's gonna be great.
The future is here, so why is your internet stuck in the past? With Quantum Fiber Internet, you can get next-level multi-gig speed on a reliable fiber network. Fair and honest pricing with no annual contracts or bundling required. And whole home 360 Wi-Fi to make sure your devices are ready to take you where you want to go. So you can stream, post, game, surf, like, and love to your heart's content. You do you. Let Quantum Fiber Internet take care of the rest. Learn more at quantumfiber.com. Limited availability, service, and speed in select locations only.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
The Mariners are back in action after an off day, this time with a series at T-Mobile against the Chicago White Sox. Brian Wu on the mound, first pitch at 6:40, pregame show at 5:30 right here on Seattle Sports. Another running back gets a deal. It's not Ken Walker, though. The Rams are giving Kyron Williams a 3-year, $33 million contract extension. Williams was set to make just over $5 million this year, the final year of his rookie deal prior to signing.
Snapshot brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This is The Dugout. Every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy. Inside access to the clubhouse from Shannon Drayer on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Voice of the Mariners, Rizzs, joining us right now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. And Rick, this is a really cool opportunity the Mariners find themselves in. They're coming off of a vitally important series win against the Rangers. And I don't mean to ever look down on the competition, but they do have a stretch here where they can really build up ground in the AL West. What's something that you personally are hoping to see from this team over the next couple games here?
Yeah, Stace and Bump and Curtis, this is an opportunity to get on a roll and stay on the roll like they remember they were on the early part of the year, and that's win series. You can't take anybody lightly. You can't take anybody for granted. However, you got to beat the teams that you're supposed to beat, and the White Sox are one of them. They're a young team. They've struggled. Last year they had the worst record in baseball history. They're not going to have the worst record in baseball history. That's going to belong to the Rockies. But you got to win this ball game. And it starts with the starting pitching. Brian Wu is going tonight in Game 1, George Kirby in Game 2, Logan Gilbert in Game 3. So you got to go after these guys. You got to add on. You got to score early. And if they do that, you know, they're gonna win this series. And what you want to do is sweep, but it's tough to do. But win that first game. Get off to a good start tonight. Good pitching, good defense. Score some runs, and they've been doing that. So you got to go after teams like the White Sox starting tonight.
Riz, naturally our focus has been on the bats, Naylor and obviously Gino. But what have you seen out of Ferguson in his field appearances?
Yeah, I mean, he gives you that second lefty down in the bullpen, which you need. Gabe Spires, I think, one of the better relievers of this game because he can get not only lefties out, but right-handed hitters out with his fastball slider combination. So you get a veteran left-hander there to help out Gabe, like Caleb Ferguson. He's been around for a long time. He's done a really good job in his first 3-4 outings out of the bullpen. That just strengthens your bullpen. And it makes Gabe Spire even better because now you could rest Gabe when normally you might have to pitch him 2, possibly 3 games in a row. You want to start, avoid doing that. But to have a veteran guy down there to help out as a second left-hander really helps out because then you could save Gabe for that tough left-handed batter, 2 that you're going to see at the end of the 7th or the 8th inning. And Caleb could also jump in there at the same time, too. But he can go after pockets a little bit before Gabe Spire, too, to shorten up the ball game. So he's been a really good addition.
Hey, what was that return like behind the scenes for Geno? Take us through whether it was, his first return. I'm sure you've been able to talk to him. He was probably so excited to see you again. It's kind of cool when it's a reunion as opposed to a new guy.
Oh, it was amazing, Stacy and Bump. We waited for a long time. We're on the tarmac in Sacramento, and it was a night game to begin with, so it's already late. And we're wondering what's going on. You felt like, okay, the plane has been loaded. When it's done, shaken, you're ready to go. But we're waiting and waiting. And then nobody knew except a handful of people. Jack Mosman kind of was the guy that kind of arranged everything. And all of a sudden there's this roar. We're sitting in the back of the plane, and there's cheering. And I see Geno walk on the plane with his wife and his two little daughters. I go, oh, my gosh, he's going home with us. You made the deal. We heard about the trade, and then, he was actually on the plane. He wanted to get on the plane, and they worked it out. He hugged everybody from the front of the plane all the way to the back. I mean, it wasn't just a high five or anything or a handshake. He hugged everybody. So it was amazing, and I'm just glad the guy is back, and he's going to be a huge re-addition to this ball club because the last time the Mariners went to the postseason, Geno was a big reason why 3 years ago.
Riz, everyone's been trying to figure out just how good this lineup is. We got the morning show, Brock and Salk. Salk essentially saying it's the best lineup he's seen in the last 10, 15 years. Paston saying it's the best he's seen since 2021. So why not ask the Mariners Encyclopedia, Mr. Riz, how good do you think this lineup is? When's the last time you've seen something like this?
Yeah, this lineup is as good as any I've seen over the last 20 years because now it's deep. You got J.P. Crawford at the bottom of the order where he's now relaxed. Look what J.P. has done in 2 of his last 3 games. He had a 2-run home run in the bottom of the 4th inning 2 days ago on Sunday. That was the difference in a 5-4 win. 2 days earlier on Friday night, he hits a walk-off home run, in the bottom of the 9th inning. So now you got the kids at the bottom of the order doing a great job. Dom Canzone with Cole Young. And in between there's J.P. Crawford, a veteran guy. You got Randy Rosarena, who's hit more home runs than anybody in baseball, I think, since July 1st. And Cal Raleigh is having the historical year. And the meat of the order is outstanding with Cal and Julio. Even his outs are hit hard. He hit his 100th career home run the other day. And he's now a 2020 guy for the first 4 years. Now you got Naylor and Suarez, 2 veteran bats that can hit the ball out of the ballpark, that drive in runs, that are going to hit for an average. So you lengthen the lineup. Dom Canzone is hitting well. You got Polanco, in a good spot there at number 6 in the lineup. So this is one of the best offensive lineups I've seen maybe in the last 15, 20 years because it's so deep. And the guys are going to stay there. You got guys on the bench that are going to help out. Dylan Moore's going to help out. Miles Mastrobuoni's going to help out. Pinch hitting here and there and pinch running. But this is one of the best lineups I've seen in a long, long time.
Do you sense excitement from the players? I mean, what's kind of the feeling around the club right now?
That's the first thing I said when we found out about the trade for Naylor a week before we got Geno. And then when we got Geno, I said, it sends a message, Stace and Bump, to the guys in the clubhouse saying, hey, let's go win this thing. We're behind you. We've given you the tools. Now go out there and have some fun and win some ball games and get back to the postseason. Not only get back to the postseason, let's get to the World Series and win this thing. So I think that was the best thing that, the players got from the additions of Josh Naylor, who had 31 home runs last year, had 108 RBIs with Cleveland, and had a bunch of home runs and RBIs this year. Geno was leading the National League in runs batted in. So as soon as he joined the lineup, when he got here, we had the 2 top RBI guys in Major League Baseball in the lineup with Cal and with Geno. But it sends a message, very important message to the guys in that clubhouse. They were excited that we got these guys in the lineup, and it sends a great message to the fans too that they're going to try to win this thing. They want to win this thing, and I give Jerry and Justin a whole lot of credit for doing what they did, and they didn't have to dip into the top 10 prospects in the organization. I told Justin Hollander, I asked him the other day, I said, how did you do that? He said, we kept saying no, Rick. We just kept saying no. So, the top 10 guys are still there, and they got 2 incredible hitters in the lineup and guys who can play defense too.
Rizzs, to get to this point, you had to have some good performances by Masterboni. He had his moments. Ben Williamson had his. Dylan Moore has struggled a bit, but also he contributed as well. Mentally, what does it do for a guy like Masterboni and Dylan Moore? Like, I know they would prefer to be everyday type of guys, but, every analysis or analyst I listen to says, like, these are more off-the-bench type of guys. Do you think that helps their game, or where do you think they stand mentally?
I think it helps their game. They know who they are. Their job is to, when called upon, be ready. And that's why, I see Miles Masterboni and Dylan Moore take early batting practice. And, they take extra ground balls because you never know when you're going to get called. You come into the ballpark, like I said earlier, this lineup is set. However, you got to give those guys a day off here and there, even Cal Raleigh, So Mitch Garver is very, very important. So these guys play a huge role, because when they're in the lineup, they're giving the guys, in front of them, the starters, a day off. So that makes them better, makes them stronger. So you can win those games in September. That's what they do, and you got to get them in the lineup in April and May and June, because if you don't do that, then you can't, say they're going to be successful later on during the year if they don't have the at-bats. But they know and they understand their role. They're great at it, and they're a huge addition for this ball club coming off the bench.
Riz, this is maybe the most optimistic I've been in years and years and years that this team could get to the postseason. It's not just the nature or the state of the American League or the AL West. It's also just the firepower that they have. It's the feeling around the club and kind of having that confirmed by you. However, if they're going to actually get to a World Series, they're obviously going to need to really lean into kind of their identity, and that's those arms. It's been a bit a weirder season for them, I think, because of those injuries. How are those guys looking to you, particularly Gilbert and Kirby?
Yeah, you said it. At the start of the year, they didn't have George Kirby for the first 2 months, and then here's Logan Gilbert, his first 6 starts of the year, and I'm doing notes for the game coming up in a couple of days. In his first 6 starts of the year, he had like 1.37 ERA. Then he got hurt. Then he's out. Then he's got to go down and get a rehab assignment. Then he's got to come back. And then Bryce Miller basically hasn't pitched all year. And then you got to rely on the kid, Logan Evans, who's done a really good job, and Emerson Hancock. So George Kirby is George Kirby now. Brian Wu has been outstanding. You got 3.11 ERA, and All-Star. The Rock has been the Rock, and now George is back, and Logan Gilbert pitched really well. Two of his last 3 starts have been outstanding. And then you got Bryce Miller knocking on the door of getting ready sometime, hopefully in the near future. I think he had his first rehab start where he went 4 scoreless innings. So once you get those guys back and doing what they did, hopefully last year they had the best starting rotation in all of baseball. Nobody missed a start once Wu got in there in early part of May last season. This ball club is going to be in really good shape. And then you got Munoz back there and Brash, and with the addition of Ferguson and Gabe Spire, I'm very optimistic. I'm always optimistic, but I'm really optimistic this year with this team.
Hey, Riz, you mentioned you spoke to Justin about, how did they pull this off? And then I would assume that you've had conversations or interactions with Dipoto. I mean, what's the feeling you get from these guys? They have to be walking around feeling like, they pulled off a heist. They feeling really good about themselves. Yeah. What's the vibe around those two?
They're pretty happy. We're not privy to what, goes on in those conversations, but I've talked with both of them very briefly. And basically, it comes down to the last day or the day before. With Naylor was a little bit earlier, about 5 or 6 days earlier. We got him when we were in Anaheim. But it takes hours and hours and days and weeks of negotiating because there's other teams involved and you have to be patient. And that's, I think, the hardest thing for a GM to do, or a director of baseball operations, is to sit there and wait, because the guys that you want with the other team they're playing for, they're trying to get the best deal from maybe 2 or 3 other teams. And they're waiting for you to sweeten up the pot. And you're keeping your fingers crossed that hopefully you don't have to do that the other teams can bail out at the last second. But, because Jerry told me he had a deal in place, probably for a better deal than what Duran went to with the Minnesota Twins. I forget where he went to, but it's a lot of patience and staying with it, and making sure that you have a good enough farm system that you can make these deals without dipping into your top 10. That tells you, what you did with your guys from number 11 prospect to number 20 to number 25. And that's what they gave up, to get Naylor and to get Eugenio Suarez. So, man, if you have a farm system like that, you can bring in two guys like this, even though they're a rental right now. We'll see what happens at the end of the year. That's huge.
He's the voice of the Mariners, Rick Rizzs. Thanks, Rizzs.
Thanks, Rizzs.
Stacy, Bump, thank you very much. Curtis, appreciate it.
Coming up next, Mariners insider Shannon Drayer.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
When your outside matches how you feel on the inside, that's kindness. And so I think that is the one thing that the Lee Johnson Auto family encourages us, is to be really authentic and really be intentional in how we treat our customers and how we treat each other.
To have a good company, have a good culture, have a good crew that takes care of your customer base, you have to take care of your crew. You can't have miserable people and expect them to give a customer a good experience.
Walking in here, meeting some of the employees already before I was even hired on, welcoming me in, gave me a good indication what this company was all about. So if I were to make an hour and a half drive here and to have fun here for 8 to 9 hours a day versus if it's the other way around, then I'll take it.
It's not a script. It's a belief. The LJ Way is the Lee Johnson Auto family.
This might be the most surprising statistic I've shared in decades of doing local news. More than 75% of commuters will be involved in a car accident at some point. JP Pendergast of Pendergast Law with more.
What makes it more surprising? The average person will be involved in 3 to 4 collisions in their lifetime.
With accidents unbelievably prevalent, what are some safety tips if it happens to you?
Safety first. Secondary collisions are not uncommon while awaiting help. Turn on those hazards and remain in a safe place. If a bystander witnessed the accident, capture their information and encourage them to remain at the scene. Seek medical attention immediately if needed, as delaying can be a costly mistake. Lastly, remember that statements made to police and insurance adjusters can affect your case.
Collisions are more common than we'd like to think. If you find yourself in one, follow these helpful tips and then call my friends at Pendergast Law.
If you or a loved one's injured in a car accident, call Pendergast Law. We can help.
PendergastLaw.com.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. Stroke risk may increase. Eliquis can cause serious and potentially fatal bleeding. Don't take if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or bleed longer. A spinal injection increases blood clot risk, which may cause paralysis. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding or bruising, or back pain, tingling, numbness, muscle weakness, or incontinence. Aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Joined now on the Dugout by Mariners insider Shannon Drayer on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Shannon, how's it going?
It's going. Thank you.
My first question is about Cal. Congratulations to Cal. He was the Mariners 2025 Heart and Hustle Award winner. I'm curious a bit more about the award, but then I'm also curious about what you've seen from Cal in the last, week or two, where he is very naturally, as many players do, kind of get into that slow part of their season, and maybe what you're seeing from him there.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting because you look at it, and I remember I turned to Gary after the game the other day, and I just said, it seems like the home run chase has come to a screeching halt. It's not just Cal. It's all of them. Of course, Aaron Judge is on the IL and is coming back soon, but Shohei Ohtani hasn't been hitting the bombs. Gino hasn't been hitting as many of them. Schwarber has. He's heated up ever since the All-Star game. But it is. I think it's just part of what you see within a season. And I do think that there are times when he's not called on to do some of those things. I think it's a little bit different being in a little bit of a different lineup and having an offensive lineup around you that perhaps that has a little something to do with it. But, yeah, especially of late, 5 strikeouts the other day, it's not something you see from him very, very often. So I do think it is something that we need to get more into with him. He hasn't really indicated that there's anything wrong or that he feels a tick off. I just think that is part of the ups and the downs of the game. You were not going to be at the pace that he was on the entire time, and I'm not just talking the home runs. It was what he was doing, and the consistency that he had at the plate, and I feel good about him finding it again.
Hey, Shannon, JP was going through his struggles. They moved him down to the 8th spot, and he figured some things out. What does that do for a player like JP getting moved down there? What's the strategy behind that?
Well, I don't think that had much to do with that. I think it was just more of you had a situation where you had there was a scramble. It was time because you had some new faces, and you also had some new left-right in the lineup too. So that was a massive adjustment. Yes, he was in a struggle, but they actually liked some of the things that they were seeing from him before that. He was hitting the ball hard. He did get into some bad luck that he was hitting it right at some people. So I think there was a strong feeling that he was coming out of that. But I do think that A, little bit of what you were seeing there, and B, the opportunity with the other names that you had in the lineup, it was really the first time that you had an opportunity to put somebody else there. Julio does not like hitting leadoff, so that was never really an option. But once you added Naylor and Suarez to the lineup, what do you do with Randy? Did you want to hit Randy 6? No, it made more sense to hit him at the top of the lineup and get Cal to second, and you've almost got one of those more, I don't want to say traditional lineup, but the lineup that you see more often in this day and age where you really have your bigger bats at the top of the order. And if there was pressure on JP and what he was doing and kind of the increased focus because he was the leadoff hitter or he did get that extra at bat, I don't know if that pressure was there. Sometimes that helps that you're out of that spotlight a little bit, but I think it really had just so much more to do with what you had, what Dan had available to him, and I like it. I like the shakeup. I like the way the lineup looks right now, particularly against right-handers, and with JP going, all that does is it just lengthens what you have.
I agree with you. I really like the construction of this lineup. Wanted to take a look at the bullpen. The Mariners were able to add Ferguson. We kept hearing from multiple insiders that they not only desperately wanted to add someone else, but were very, very close to doing so. Ultimately couldn't get it done before the deadline. Where does some of that pressure fall now to make sure that you can stay maybe as healthy and productive as possible? Are you hoping your starters pitch later into games? Are you looking to, turn to different arms within the pen? Where do you think some of the responsibility falls?
Yeah, it falls where it's been all season, and now you need to see exactly what you're saying, Stacy. You've got to see the starters get deeper into games. That's going to help things out immensely. I wanted to see another leverage arm in the pen. I wanted to see another arm added to the rotation. I wanted another starter. So it's tough to look at it right now, and Ferguson has done good things, so that's good. That puts you, I think, up a little bit. But you saw what the rest of baseball did, and you saw the premium that was on that big arm, that big leverage arm. And when you think to the postseason, that's where you need that the most. That's where, games are that much tighter and runs are scarce. And it's because a lot of what you see, not just in your starters, but what you also see with the pen. And if a manager can line up, multiple leverage arms in a short series in particular, that really is to the advantage of that team. So you're going to need Matt Brash to be Matt Brash. You're going to need Andres Munoz to be Andres Munoz. Carlos Vargas, I like the work that he got in the 2 innings. I know he gave up a run, but he's starting to look a little bit more like himself. Bizzardo has really climbed up that ladder of leverage in the bullpen. You're going to need him to be his best as well. It's not something that can easily be fixed with what you have. I don't think there is an option. I think it's maybe we'll see down the line if they do think that there is somebody that they perhaps could get ready for September that's in the system right now, but it's not an obvious or an easy choice for them right now. So I think it is very much what you have. You, of course, are down Thornton, and he's had some ups and downs, but he has also given you some very solid bridge innings, and he has experience, and you know pretty much what to expect from him. So I do think that ultimately it will land on the starters to shorten that game up a little bit more.
Shannon, how impressed are you with DePoto and Hollander?
I think it was a very, very good deadline for them. And I think, it was so good to see, and especially when I saw the reaction. I think that little bit of extra confidence that you see with the team perhaps over the last 4 days and since the deadline, a good part of that was, yes, you've added the players and the players are there. But I think a good part of that is also they went out and did the things that they needed to do, that we wanted them to do. And that is just always that extra vote of confidence that, we feel good about you guys. We're going to do everything we can to help. And they really did it both in terms of player, and they did eat some salary there too. I did say I wish there was another arm, be it an extra starter, which that may have proven, I might be off on that. They might feel really good about where Bryce Miller is right now, and so that was a much lesser priority and not as important. But I know they wanted that extra leverage arm too. I know they know that it's a little bit shaky because of you hope to have that extra just punch in that bullpen. But there are no guarantees. And if you look at some of the players who were exchanged for some of these big arms, the Mariners have a very robust farm system, but what they didn't have is they didn't have major league ready pitching that they could trade. And that is something that teams wanted. A lot of the prospects that they have are just a little bit further away from the big leagues. And when it came to the leverage arms, which had the highest premium in this trade season, the price was very, very high. And while the Mariners had the higher ranked prospects, they weren't necessarily close to the bigs. And it seemed like that was a big factor for the big arms that went. And that said, we all talked about it a month and a half ago. Well, ideally, you'd love to have Josh Naylor and Eugenio Flores. Honestly, what were the chances of that? That sounded outrageous to be asking for both of them. They got it done. They did add a good left-handed arm in the pen, too. So I think, they should feel very good about what they were able to do at the deadline.
She is Mariners insider Shannon Drayer, kind enough to join us on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Shannon. Have a good one.
Thanks, Shannon.
You got it, guys.
Coming up, 3 experts explain why a World Series appearance feels like a real possibility for the Mariners.
As the calendar flips to August, it's all about the push to the playoffs.
Goodbye, baseball. Walk it off. J.P. Crawford with a walk-off 2-run home run.
Tonight, Mariners, White Sox.
First pitch at 6:40. Pregame at 5:30.
Every pitch of every game is on Seattle Sports on 710 and the Seattle Sports app. The home of the Mariners.
Start having fun. Caesar Sportsbook at Muckleshoot Casino Resort is your #1 place to eat, drink, watch, and have fun. Keep up with your favorite sports anywhere and everywhere on property with the mobile app. Visit muckleshootcasino.com today. Scan the QR code and let the play begin.
Muckleshoot. Well, I'm here with my good buddy, Dr. Dan Nelson from Eastside Pain and Regenerative Medicine. And you've heard from Dr. Dan's patients over the years how a simple stem cell procedure has successfully conquered their pain. Well, folks, now it's my turn. After years of dealing with knee pain from all the football abuse, I can say my knee pain now is almost 100% gone. How'd you do it, Dr. Dan?
Well, Brock, personally, I'm very happy that you did so well. And your story is like so many of our other patients who come in, former athletes and non-athletes as well, who have come in with chronic knee pain and and they are looking for alternatives besides knee replacement surgery. And we're happy to provide this service. It's been truly a game changer for so many folks. It's just been a pleasure to be part of this.
Consider Dr. Nelson, the only doctor with over 30 years of experience in pain medicine techniques, including stem cell therapy. I was in and out with a couple of follow-ups. It's a non-surgical solution to pain using your own stem cells. Consider stem cell therapy with Dr. Daniel Nelson, MD at 425-823-4000 or visit danielnelsonmd.com. That's danielnelsonmd.com.
Windows are our home's top target for break-ins. At Lake Washington Windows and Doors, we offer added security with our exclusive 3-layer security glass protection. Combined with our lifetime warranty, you'll have lifetime peace of mind. Choose Lake Washington Windows and Doors, a name you can trust.
Beat rising costs at Lake Washington Windows and Doors. For a limited time, get a 20% inflation discount and enjoy easy 18-month free financing with 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest. Details at lakewashingtonwindows.com.
Do you know how America became the best country on God's green earth? We made things, from automobiles to airplanes to textiles. We were the manufacturing epicenter of the world, the innovators that every other country turned to. I'm Katie Lyon, co-founder of Allegiance Flag Supply, and I'm here to tell you that the American spirit is alive and well at Allegiance, where we make American flags 100% in America. When you fly your American flag from Allegiance Flag Supply, you're not just honoring our country, you're supporting American men and women who proudly make the highest quality American flags, period. True patriots who put care into every stitch. See our full story at showallegiance.com and learn about our 100% American-based supply chain. Fly your flag from showallegiance.com with pride, because every flag says manufacturing is still alive and well in the U.S. and we are still the greatest country. Save $35 on your American flag set when you go to showallegiance.com.
Looking for an epic summer night in Seattle? Be here for the Mariners Drone Show at T-Mobile Park, Friday, August 22nd, presented by Muckleshoot Casino Resort.
It is Grand Salami time. Cal Raleigh with his 3rd Grand Slam of the season.
The team is taking on the A's at 7:10, and after the game, we'll be lighting up the sky with hundreds of drones, celebrating Mariners icons past and present. Don't miss out on a jaw-dropping post-game show.
He got him. He puts him away, and the ball game is over. Another phenomenal save by Andres Munoz.
Head to Mariners.com to grab your seats and see the full lineup of special events, including Kids Appreciation Day, Sunday, August 24th, and the Logan Gilbert Funko Pop giveaway, September 8th to 10th. Plus, check out a great slate of marquee interleague matchups against the Padres, Cardinals, and Dodgers.
Julio clubs this deep out to left field and gone. Julio for the 2nd time.
Mariners baseball. Try dance up.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
It has been a really, really, really long time since national folks were talking about the Mariners as a World Series candidate. I think most of what you're hoping for when, like Brock and Salk, you're joined by Jeff Passan weekly is, hey, yeah, they could maybe win the AL West. You know, you're just hoping for some optimism from people that have no skin in the game. There's no stake that Jeff Passan is going to need to make on the Mariners winning much of anything. He can be brutally honest, and sometimes he is. But, Bump, I've got 3 different analysts here, Jeff Passan, Robert Murray, who joined us earlier today, and Buster Olney, all of whom think there's a real path forward to the Mariners to get to the World Series. We're going to start with Jeff Passan. We'll go to cut 12. This is Jeff on how the Mariners stack up to the rest of the American League post-trade deadline.
When you look at this team and compare it to the rest of the teams across the American League, I don't think anybody touches them when it comes to starting pitching. I think their lineup, if not as good as some others from April through July, stands at least right next to pretty much every other lineup in the American League right now, if not on top. Their bullpen has gotten better and is going to be deeper in the playoffs when, theoretically, they will be able to use Bryce Miller out of it. And it's just, guys, it's just going to be a matter of getting there and playing clean baseball. I think if the Mariners can do that, they're as good of a team as there is in the American League.
You can't really win in the postseason unless you can pitch. You know what I mean? Like, you can, like, beat up on some weaker teams. You have to be able to slug, and you have to be able to pitch. And I found the first part of what Jeff said to be the most interesting. The first thing he said about the Mariners, they have the best 1 through 5 in baseball.
That's banking on Miller coming back. And then he also said, well, he is going to come back, but coming back and performing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then he also said, pretty much, if you can get there, you'll be fine. But you got to get there first. So that's when you look at the rotation again and say, all right, can you perform at a high level? Can Miller come back and contribute? But it's almost like too good to believe, right? I don't want to just.
Why don't you want to let yourself believe?
I believe that they can do it, but it's almost like the expectation kind of scares me with this team.
Because it's never been there.
Because that's something that we've never experienced before. And I'm like, oh, don't let me down. But if things were not to work out the way that we planned, the guys upstairs can just say, look, we did all that we could, and we can finally agree with them and say, yes, you did exactly that. But that's just sports, right? Like we say all the time, only one person hoists a trophy at the end of the year. But I think it all comes down to the same things it's come down to in the past, which is the rotation has to be on point.
I do think the combination of having, in theory, really, really great starting pitchers. They haven't been perfectly healthy or perfectly perfect this year, but in theory, really good pitching and a pretty decent lineup is really important, because when you look at past iterations of Mariners teams that have gotten hype, in 2015, Nelson Cruz, who was the last all-star starter for the Mariners, hit 40-plus bombs. He was on a team where you still had like Pete Seeger and Pete Cano, but they didn't have the home run total that Gino Suarez does. So now you've got, instead of one guy with 40 and some other guys with 20-something, and that's pretty impressive, you've got two guys who are going to hit 40-plus. Cal's already over 40. You've got two guys hitting 40-plus home runs so far. In addition to that, there was always, Curtis, what was the now infamous, what year was it that you had Felix and a couple other guys on the cover of like Sports Illustrated, and they were like, oh, are the Mariners the team to beat? And the Mariners did not end up
I think
making
that
it
was
to
like,
the postseason.
Was it maybe 2014 or something like that?
Sometime around there too, where it's like you had Felix, but you never truly had the offense to support Felix, nor did you have like the pitching depth. Now you have all of it. You've got everything you've always lacked. You don't have the very, very best, but you have everything you've always lacked. And so it's hard not to look at the Mariners and feel like it's by far the most complete version you've seen.
Yeah, I think you have to look at it as the most complete. But is it complete to a standard that you can rely on? I think it has the potential to be. I think we still have to see it. I think that's why this series is it's important, man. Come on, you have to take care of the White Sox. You have to take care of a team that is 47-20. You have to take care of a team that has shown throughout the year that they are not as talented and they're not as explosive as anybody else in this league, minus the Colorado Rockies. But that's also part of the being complete. Can you beat the teams you're supposed to beat, especially late in the season? For a series win, a sweep would be nice. I understand that we all want that, but me, I'm just looking for a win. You got Wu, Kirby, and Gilbert on the mound. Like, if I'm going to pick three guys right now out of the rotation, those are the three that I'm going to pick to say the postseason starter right now. I'm probably going with those three to be my guys. Castillo, I get it. If you want to go with a veteran guy who's been around the block a few times, for sure. But to me, you got your best three on the mound. So go take care of the White Sox.
Let's go to another here. Robert Murray on with us earlier today, Bump, in Cut 14, talking about how it's all about winning now in Seattle.
It's a good thing that they have going there, but winning is going to be everything for them now, because it's clear by making these moves that they're absolutely all in on this year, and anything short of a World Series would probably be a disappointment.
Anything short of a World Series would be a disappointment is a wild thing to hear uttered about the Mariners.
He don't live here. He don't live here.
But he knows baseball.
Yeah, he knows baseball. But all right, what if you're one win away from the World Series? Right, you're one win away. Are we gonna look back at this season and be like, man, we wasteful?
No.
Bad season.
No. But I'm gonna lose my mind.
I get what he's saying. But he don't live in the neighborhood. You know, I respect what he's saying, and I think this team has World Series potential. But like your headline for Ken Walker, you got to crawl before you learn to run, or walk before
you can establish the run.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the Mariners too.
Okay, I got one more from Robert, and then we'll get to Buster Only. Let's go to Cut 15. This is Robert looking at both Houston and Seattle, how they stack up.
They got better for sure. They absolutely did. And it's going to come down to probably those two teams in the American League West. I think the Mariners have the edge, but that being said, the Astros, doubting them in any category is a very scary proposition because they have the pedigree, they have the players, they have Carlos Correa, who is a clear winner, back in town as well. It's scary, and you also got to look at the Texas Rangers too. They're hanging around a little bit, but I think it's going to end up coming down to the Mariners and the Astros.
I mean, yeah, I could see it happening. He's right. The Rangers are not only hanging around, but they just beat the Yankees the other day, walked them off. I hate that the Astros got Correa. They are going to get healthier, but it's if I were the Astros, I would be worried about the Mariners. I would be worried, for that matter, about the Rangers. This is a tough race, and these teams have gotten better.
Everybody got to worry about everybody. There's no one in this race that is so far ahead of the next that they can just cruise into this thing. Everyone in the AL. If you are at the top 3 or 4, everyone's looking at each other, sizing each other up, and waiting for someone to make a run. And I think I would guarantee if we listen to the regional media for each team, they're probably saying the same thing. Like, look, you're still in this fight. But one thing I know they're saying for sure is that, man, the Mariners got better. And they are being looked at differently and seen as more of a threat. But at this point of the season, when you look at the records and who's ahead and how many games behind, yeah, everyone's sizing each other up.
Someone said it was, so I'm thinking of two. There's the ESPN, the magazine cover with Ichiro, Cliff Lee, and Felix, where it was like, oh, the Mariners, they're going to do it. And then there's a Sports Illustrated preview for 2015 called Time to Believe, where it was how the Mariners have it. So we are used to seeing like a before the season starts kind of darling, where it's like, well, what if it's finally their time?
Yeah.
But this is a post-trade deadline choice where you've got intel and you've got information about this team. And I think that's a different kind of analysis. Let's go to cut 17. Here's Buster Olney.
I think you could paint a reasonable path to the World Series for as many as 7 or 8 teams. I've never seen a league as wide open as the American League is right now. I've never seen a kind of parity in a league as we're seeing right now.
I've never seen a kind of parity as we have in the league right now. He said you can paint a path to a World Series for like 7 to 8 teams. The Mariners absolutely one of those teams.
Yeah, they're in the mix. We look at just the American League. You got Toronto at the top, tied up there with the Tigers, and Houston 2.5 games behind, Boston 3, New York and Seattle Mariners 5.5 games behind them. But if you just look at outside the top 2, you're separated by 3 games, 2.5 games, 2.5, 3 games. So this is a race, and you just want to be in the race. Did you see that race with Noah Lyles and the other guy? They were on the 200 the other day. And I forgot the man's name. I should know because he's like top 3 in the world. But they run the 200 meter, and Noah Lyles really kicks it in like the last 60 to 80 meters. He does that, beats the guy, and the dude is so mad. He pushes Noah Lyles, and he looks back like, what? Like, you got to be Noah Lyles in this thing, right? You're hitting that turn, and now it's trying to open it up. You know what's going to help you open up your stride? Gino, Naylor, Julio, and Cal getting back on track. But this is going to be fun. It's going to be nerve-wracking. It could be frustrating at times, but it's going to be fun for these guys the last couple months.
We've been talking a lot about Cal Raleigh and lately about Gino Suarez, but Alex Mayer, who joins us next, is going to explain why Julio and Randy Rosarina have a chance to do something we haven't seen before.
ESPN senior MLB insider Jeff Passett with Brock and Salk.
Let's start with Josh Naylor. We haven't had a chance to talk to you since the Mariners made the deal.
I love the attitude. Josh Naylor is like the classic. You love him when he's your teammate. You might not when he's not. I like adding a little bit of attitude to this team. He just fits everything so perfectly. Fit a position of need at first base. Added another guy who has really good bat-to-ball skills.
Get more on the Seattle Sports YouTube page and the Seattle Sports app.
Hey, Brock Ewart here for my friends over at PCF Construction. If you're seeking a complete outdoor living space or a very specific project like an underdeck ceiling, maybe a new deck, patio cover, railings, well, my friends at PCF have you covered. This summer, well, you can enjoy 12 months of no interest and no payments. And how about this? Plus 50% off a design and architectural drawing package or up to $5,000 off an undercover system. If you're looking at your outside and saying, golly, what a beautiful summer in the Pacific Northwest, and we can't take advantage of it, well, take advantage of these offers today. If you've been wanting that new deck, that new patio cover, make the call. Get online right now and connect with my friends at PCF. You can find all the offer details, you can get project ideas, and you can browse photos at pcfgroup.com or call today at 425-629-8476. Don't let this offer pass you by. It's 425-629-8476.
This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done. This is the story of the one. As a lineman, he does whatever it takes to keep the power on in his community. And he wants a partner like Granger who does the same. Granger offers the professional-grade products he needs, from voltage detectors to harnesses to hard hats, plus fast, dependable delivery, so he can rise to every challenge. Call 1-800-GRANGER, click Granger.com, or just stop by. Granger, for the ones who get it done.
Oh, could this vintage store be any cuter?
Right? And the best part? They accept Discover.
Accept Discover? In a little place like this? I don't think so, Jennifer.
Oh, yeah, huh? Discover's accepted where I like to shop. Come on, baby, get with the times.
Right, so we shouldn't get the parachute pants?
These are making a comeback. I think.
Discover is accepted at 99% of places that take credit cards nationwide. Based on the February 2025 Nielsen report.
JTV Jewelry Television knows you love to sparkle, so now's your time to shine like the star you are. Enter JTV's Shine Like a Star sweepstakes for your chance to win $5,000 in dazzling jewelry from top brands, including Rachel Zoe Jewelry and Judith Ripka Jewelry. Plus, just for entering, get $30 off your next qualifying JTV purchase of $99 or more when you opt in for emails. Enter now at jtv.com/likeastar. And remember, if you love jewelry, you'll love JTV.
Matt Coker here from West Coast Men's Health. Guys, Viagra is not the answer for your problem. I know you think it is, but Viagra has horrible side effects, and for most men, the longer you're on it, the less it works. Viagra is not a curative medication. It's not fixing your problem. It's a Band-Aid for a shark bite. Acoustic wave therapy is the newest technology that can correct your problem, not just treat it. We can do something that no pill can do. We can restore your blood flow naturally. Get off Viagra today. Change your life like the thousands of men who already have, regardless of your age or your medical history. If you're tired of dealing with Peyronie's disease or erectile dysfunction, then call West Coast Men's Health today.
With clinics in Redmond and Tacoma, call 206-519-6541. That's 206-519-6541. 206-519-6541. Online at westcoastmenshealth.com.
You're listening to The Dugout every Tuesday at 1 with Bump and Stacy on Seattle Sports, the home of the Mariners.
Alex Mayer joining us now on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Alex, how's it going?
It's going great. How are you guys?
Good. We were going to start the past several times we've had you on. Unsurprisingly, we have began with a conversation about Cal, and he's having a historic season, and you're fantastic with numbers and history, so it's been really fun having these conversations. But this time around, you've got some numbers on two other players, Julio and Randy. They have a chance to do something pretty special here. What is it?
Yeah, you're totally right. I feel like we always open and close with Cal. I mean,
Fairly.
Deservedly so. Yeah, deservedly so. But yeah, I truly think Julio and Randy are two of the best power speed threats across the league. They've both reached the 2020 club and actually make up half the players who are in it so far this year. Only Jose Ramirez on the Guardians and then Pete Crow Armstrong on the Cubs are fellow 2020 members. Yeah, but I'm looking at them potentially reaching 30-30. 30-30 teammates has only happened twice in Major League history. 87 Mets with Howard Johnson and Darryl Strawberry, and then 96 Rockies with Dante Bichette and Ellis Burks, some throwback names for you. And it would be the first time in American League history if Julio and Randy could both get 30 homers and 30 steals.
That'd be awesome. I'm here for that, Alex. I'm here for it.
Yeah, me too.
Trade deadline. It is a wrap. It's over, and there's a name that remains that I thought would probably be gone in one of these deals. His name is Harry Ford. Why is that such a good thing?
Yeah, I thought the Mariners had an awesome trade deadline. Seemed like their grades from both national and local media was really good. They added Gino Suarez, of course, Josh Naylor, of course, and then a left-handed reliever in Caleb Ferguson from the Pirates. He's had some success postseason with the Astros and Dodgers. But yeah, Harry Ford was a name I know on a lot of lists. He might have been traded, might have not been. Ended up keeping Harry. He's a 22-year-old catcher in AAA who's crushing it there, by the way, hitting around 300, on base over 400, which ranks top 10 in the league. But he's like 5 years younger than the average AAA player. Obviously, Cal's locked up, and Mariners fans and everyone in this building are super grateful for that. But I think the Mariners could get creative with how they play Harry Ford. He's played a little bit around the diamond, and I'm not saying that that's definitely going to happen or definitely won't. But I think it shouldn't be overlooked that the Mariners have another catcher really playing well at AAA who's like 5 years younger than the average player. I don't think it should be taken for granted that we got to hold on to Harry.
Corresponding with Cal's great season with a really fun trade deadline for the Mariners has been an amazing celebration, an ongoing celebration of Ichiro. Ichiro's Hall of Fame weekend is beginning Friday with this Game 1 of the Mariners series against the Rays. You've got fans, the first 20,000 receiving a replica jersey from the game in which Ichiro broke MLB record for most hits in a single season. And then, of course, Saturday is when Ichiro's number 51 is going to be officially retired. What's so cool about it is that you guys are kind of treated to Ichiro every day. So even though this upcoming weekend and Ichiro's Hall of Fame weekend is going to be about celebrating someone who absolutely deserves it and who kind of has the hearts of everyone in the Pacific Northwest, he's around this team so much. And I was hoping that we could tap into some of those special stories, or not only what it's like for the players to have him around, but what it's like for you guys.
Yeah, well said. So Ichiro's around for basically, I don't know about all 81 home games, but darn near 81 home games. Yeah. He's here all the time. What I'm not sure everyone knows is that Ichiro is also here when the team's on the road. So he's still working out with his interpreter, Alan Turner. He's doing throwing drills from right field. He's running like wind sprints practically. He's insane. He'll even get in the indoor cage and take hacks from time to time. My personal tie to Ichiro is we've actually set up a fair number of doggy play dates together, which my family, I think, they think that's the coolest part of my career, setting up doggy play dates with Ichiro.
Admittedly, it is.
Yeah, that's
you do
true.
lots of really, really cool things with stats, but also the doggy play dates.
Yeah, I think my mom cares a lot more about those than the stats. But, I mentioned Alan Turner. That's Ichiro's interpreter and also helps Ichiro with a lot of other things. Alan will text me and say, hey, do you and Tucker? So I watch Tucker when the team's gone. Another anecdote in there. But I'll bring Tucker to the field, and he will play with Ichiro's dog, Kiku. I don't want to mispronounce that, but it's spelled Kikyu. So, yeah, we've set up a fair number of play dates where they'll run together, chase the tennis ball together in right field. I try to respect Ichiro's privacy and time, so I don't snap a whole lot of pictures. And when I do, it's just of the doggies, not of Ichi. But I wanted to share that personal tidbit ahead of Ichiro weekend here at T-Mobile Park.
That's awesome, Alex.
It's a family affair, and
it really is. Yeah, just like Cal in the home run derby.
Right.
Exactly. And when Gino hopped on the plane and everyone cheered. And Gino's back. Just what was your reaction when that trade went down, and how you think he's going to help this club moving forward?
Yeah, I mean, I was thrilled. I think there's a lot of guys that kind of go the extra mile, and you guys seen it across all the sports you covered. Go the extra mile in terms of getting to know the behind-the-scenes people, I guess you could describe as. But he's the best. Freddie, who also works in my department, and myself were at All-Star Week a few weeks back. And Gino remembered us by name, like asked how we were doing, what's going on in Seattle. So, and I can say this now, I guess, but we both told him, like, hey, we hope to see you in a few weeks back in that Mariners clubhouse. But I think Gino, I think everything you hear about him is true. He remembers everyone's names. He's super personable, just an awesome guy, super authentic person. And he also has 36 home runs to go along with it. So I'm excited to see how many he gets to down the stretch here.
I saw a joke about how he'd very recently, after being acquired by Seattle, changed his phone background. Can you confirm or deny?
I can't confirm or deny, but I think it was from Torey Lavulo, so he seems like a pretty trustworthy guy. So I saw that too. That's awesome.
I like Torey being kind of like fake or maybe a little real offended, just like, dang. I mean, I understand, but, you got a lot of love for Seattle, but that one hurts.
I think it was a mix of both. I think you're right.
How do they get it done this series? It's a big one, right? They've struggled a bit at times playing against teams that are below 500, but like everyone else, I'm looking at this team a bit differently and feel like they should be able to take care of this.
Yeah, I mean, I think the three of us talked about it ahead of the Angels series, maybe. Like, this is the major leagues. I mean, same thing with the NFL, the NBA, the NHL. Like, you're the best in the world at what you do. There's only 30 teams. Like, the White Sox on the other side here, they have nothing to lose. They're trying out for their jobs later in the year, for next year, et cetera. So they're playing loose. They've got a pretty young team. Some pretty good position players. That Chase Mydroth guy is pretty good. So look out for him this series. But I don't think we take any opponent lightly, nor should we, but should be a good series.
You made a joke a couple dugouts ago where you mentioned that when Cal stole his either 9th or 10th base of the season, he kind of looked at you and like his eyes lit up because
it was the 10th in Detroit. Yep.
Yes, because he had been tracking that, and it's like, yes, the home run chase is obviously amazing. It's the biggest part of his story this year, but that he was really excited about stealing more bases than he ever had before. He broke Wilson's record, which is cool. Is there a world where he, like, how good could that split be? Someone was like, what are the odds he gets 20-60?
Oh, my goodness. That would be
amazing.
amazing.
Can you imagine?
Yeah. That would be so cool. So, yeah, he's got 42 home runs and 12 stolen bases, but I swear he gets more pumped up about the steals. He really prides himself in his ability to kind of catch the pitcher and catcher off guard. And he's also been on record saying, like, he can't be a guy who gets caught stealing at a ratio anywhere near where a fast guy could, because like he knows, like if he goes and he gets caught, he might not be going so much anymore.
God, I'm if I were him, I'd be constantly just looking at the dugout like, come on, man. Come on. Especially you're up by a couple runs, like, let me do this.
Right. And he's been walking a lot lately because no one's throwing him strikes. So maybe more stolen base opportunities on the horizon.
Fingers crossed. He is Alex Mayer, kind enough to join us for the dugout on the Emerald Queen Casino Sportsbook Hotline. Thanks, Alex.
Thanks, Alex.
Thank you, guys.
Like we mentioned, Ichiro's Hall of Fame weekend coming up this weekend. Don't forget Friday, game 1 of that series against the Rays. First 20,000 fans receive replica jerseys from the game. Ichiro broke MLB's hit record for most hits in a single season. Saturday is the big day you're looking for when Ichiro's number 51 is officially retired in a pregame ceremony. So that Friday, if you're going to that game, still really awesome because the plaque, the Hall of Fame plaque, is going to be located for viewing from 4:40 through the 7th inning in the right field ramp near view level. All right, again, that's the series coming up this weekend. First, you got to get past the White Sox bump. This one starts at 6:40 tonight. Brian Wu on the mound. This has been the dugout.
He's the best catcher in baseball.
Pitch to Cal, swing and a drive.
And he's on Seattle Sports, Thursday afternoons all season long. It's the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show.
Presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians.
More history for Cal Raleigh.
I love being here, and I love these fans in the city.
Catch every episode of the Honey Bucket Cal Raleigh Show, presented by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, on the Seattle Sports YouTube page, the Seattle Sports app, and seattlesports.com.
Dave Wyman here, and since I stopped playing football, we've been fortunate to live in the same house for over 20 years. That type of longevity is a good thing, except 20 years in the same house means a lot of things start to break. Most recently, it's our windows. Virtually every seal has broken, and that's why I reached out to Harley Exteriors. Chris and Ray came out to the house, and I could instantly tell we'd get along great, and I'd want to do business with them. They're local, they're huge fans of our teams, and big listeners to the station. Better yet, they have the best product. Olympic Series windows offered exclusively through Harley Exteriors are manufactured right here in Washington and designed for our Pacific Northwest homes and climate. That means cooler in the summer, warmer in the winter. Look up Harley Exteriors for your window replacement. In August, Harley Exteriors is offering 50% off basic installation, no payments for 1 year, and an additional $200 off your project. Call 833-HARLEY or go to harleyexteriors.com.
History, it had the gold rush. Then came the oil boom, the tech boom, but right now it's the Wi-Fi boom, and Xfinity Wi-Fi is booming. Xfinity has everything you need to tap into the Wi-Fi boom with seriously powerful and seriously reliable connection. It's got 99.99% network reliability and incredibly low lag, so your streams are smoother than making a decision on what to stream. And did I mention that you can even connect to hundreds of devices so you, your kids, your parents, your poker group, and whoever else is at home can all experience the Wi-Fi boom with Xfinity. And the Wi-Fi isn't the only thing that's booming. Get the most reliable Wi-Fi and our best in-class equipment for one consistent price for 5 years guaranteed all in. Plus, get unlimited data included and no annual contract, all with the 5-year price guarantee from Xfinity. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Restrictions apply, not available in all areas. New residential customers only. Select plans only. Xfinity Gateway with X5 Complete required for unlimited data except in certain areas. Most reliable Wi-Fi based on Open Signal Awards USA. Fixed Broadband Experience Report, August 2024. Actual speeds vary.
You're listening to Leaf Filter Radio, and the guru of gutter protection himself, Chris Coonahan, is here to take your most pressing leaf-related questions.
Hey, everybody. Chris here. I understand we have Ron on the line. Ron, where are you calling from?
Uh-oh. Ron, are you calling from a ladder?
Well, I was. I wanted to ask Chris what I need to do to get my gutters ready to have leaf filter installed.
Oh, Ron, you don't have to do anything. A Leaf Filter Trusted Pro will come out and clean out your gutters, realign and seal your gutters, and install Leaf Filter, America's #1 gutter protection system.
So I didn't need to get on this ladder?
Ron, Leaf Filter Trusted Pros are in your neighborhood and ready to help. Just visit leaffilter.com/deal to schedule your free gutter inspection and get up to 30% off.
Thank goodness. What was that site?
That's leaffilter.com/deal for your free gutter inspection today. See representative for warranty details. Promotion is 20% off plus a 10% senior or military discount. One discount per household.
Ichiro Hall of Fame weekend is officially on deck at T-Mobile Park. Limited tickets remain for Saturday's number retirement night with the special pregame ceremony set for 6 p.m. Plus, don't miss out on must-have giveaways. Friday's game at 6:40 is Ichiro Jersey Night, with the first 20,000 fans scoring a 2004 jersey, thanks to Sato. And capping things off on Sunday is a replica plaque day at 1:10. Available to the first 20,000 fans. Get your tickets before it's too late at mariners.com/Ichiro.
Let's go! This is Seattle Sports.
Streaming through the Seattle Sports app.
KIRO AM Seattle. KIRO FM HD2 Tacoma. Home of the Seahawks, Mariners, and everything Seattle sports. Seattle Sports Snapshot.
Well, the Mariners get back to it after a well-deserved day off. They begin their 3-game series with the Chicago White Sox, who are in town. They'll send Brian Wu to the hill as the Mariners looking to capitalize on the struggling Houston Astros, who did pick up a win yesterday, but just a 3-game lead in the AL West. The Mariners currently are tied for the second wild card spot with the New York Yankees. So we'll keep an eye on that. You can catch it all right here starting at 5:30 with the pregame show. 6:40 first pitch, Seattle Sports on 710. Meanwhile, in the world of the NFL, Teddy Bridgewater passes his physical and he is signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Spent a moment with the Detroit Lions through one pass, but he is back in business with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as a backup.
Snapshot, brought to you by Miller Lite. When it's game time, it's Miller time.
This hour is brought to you by Legacy Group Capital's Northwest Fund.
From the Quantum Fiber Studio, this is Wyman and Bob.
On Seattle Sports.
Streaming live on the Seattle Sports app and at seattlesports.com.
Now, here are your hosts, Dave Wyman and Bob Stelton.
Welcome, everybody. It's Wyman and Bob. This is Seattle Sports on 710, seattlesports.com, coming to you live from the Virginia Mason Athletics Center, where the Seahawks are out there on the field. Training camp well underway in preparation for the arrival of Pete Carroll, Geno Smith, Jamal Adams, and the Las Vegas Raiders come to town for preseason game number 1 on Thursday. We got a big show coming up. Lots of people walking around here to talk to, but we've got Jaron Reed joining us on the program. We've got John Morosi joining us at 4 p.m. or 3:30, right? With John Morosi, we moved that. Lombre will join us at 5 o'clock today. We will have potentially Dave Craig. He is here.